Perfect. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group for Tuesday, February 21st, 2017. And once again, we are gathered here to welcome Lee Coates to present something because he always starts off these little meetings, it seems. He's good inspiration for us because he's so diligent through the week. I, on the other hand, and Guy, we haven't been too plasmacized this week. We've been busy with working with other things.
Physical work.
Try to get by. So, anyways, what do you think, Lee? You got something you want to start off with there, or?
Well, I don't have much this week, but you always push me for something, so I always have to come up with something.
Yeah, you have a magic hat there that you pull things out of from time to time, I think. But
so
there you go. I got you on. So now that you're on the spotlight, I got to bring a couple of people in here and stop the chime. There we go.
So I just made myself up a little template for doing my new type of maggrav connection. I just thought I'd share it in case someone else was going to do it this way.
Okay.
With these car maggravs, you always want your input and output on the right, just like you do with the maggrav coils. But the problem is on the gravitational coil, the connections are on the bottom, so you end up flipping the thing upside down, so it gets confusing. And then the maggrav coil, the connections are on top, so you're looking at it the normal way. So I made these little templates up so I could actually lay my coils on top of them and know which way to bend the wires and so on to get the right things lined up. So. Gravitational in, so this is your standard that goes into the gravitational loop here, the GN, goes around the loop, goes centered on the loop and through the center, and then you get your G out. G out goes to G in on the top, but because this is upside down, it's on the left-hand side instead of the right-hand side. That's where the confusion sort of comes in. So that's going around the loop counterclockwise, looking at it from this direction. And of course it goes around again in the middle, and then you get G out going down to mag in, goes around and comes out mag out on the gravitational loop, and then back into mag in on the top loop and around it to mag out. So it's just your standard maggrav connection. Down in the corner, it might be a good idea to just have the picture of the standard maggrav connection that we got on the blueprints, but I don't have that here, so.
See if I can come up with that.
Okay.
Let's see. Cleaned up my.
So you use 16 gauge and the 126 turn to 65 in the inside.
Yeah, the 126, 16 gauge. So it fits in the 3-inch diameter pipe cap. And then the 126 that allows me to stretch the coil out a bit to allow the epoxy to get in between the wires. 144 turns, you're into a 4-inch pipe cap, and 63 would gives you some stretch in the middle coil, and it gives you tight around my 3/4 inch Gantz ball. I'm trying that with 72 turns right now because I got some
more room.
I rounded up some bottles that are a little bit bigger diameter. I was going to try, instead of having 2 Gantz balls, I was going to try the bottles. So Anyway, these are 1 ounce bottles. So, and
Mm-hmm.
then
Okay, I've
and
got a
then
picture of the Maggrav coil. There's the Maggrav coil stacked with the three of them, and the Maggrav coil with just showing the inner and outer coils. I guess that's what we want, right?
yeah.
And okay, let me share it here. And I can't put them up both at once, I guess, but just so we have a comparison. Make it a little bigger. Whoops. There we go. So you're saying your setup was similar to this, but sort of upside down and backwards.
Yeah, the other difference I've got is I've got the magnetic or the gravitational loop turned
Turn the
180
other
degrees on the
180
inside,
degrees.
rotated,
Right.
and those coils are just coming out of the well, they'll be coming out of the nano coating bucket here in the next day or two. So I haven't tested that 180-degree rotation yet to say that it's good, but I don't see why it shouldn't be good. So
It sure looks clean the way you've done it with the way the wires line up and so on. It's actually a much better way to do it. It seems than the sort of messiness here. It's not messy if you know where each one goes and you're careful how it's bent so they aren't all rubbing against each other and so on. But it looks initially when you look at it, you go, wow, what a it's kind of a what do they call it, a rat's nest of wires in a way there. But that's just the way it has to be with the openings both in the same direction. When you flip it around the way you did there, it lines up much easier, it seems.
yeah, I found I was handling the coils too much after they were nano coated, trying to stop them from touching each other. The wires from touching each other. So
Mm-hmm.
this new way it makes it nice and clean, where you don't have to handle the coil so much and damage the nano coating. At least that's my theory. So I gotta make a couple more car mag grabs to find out if they work better or worse or whatever.
Yeah,
So
well, I was thinking about that idea the other day, and let me just stop sharing. I'll put the video back up. Oops, didn't work. Um, there we go. Yeah, so, anyways, the idea being that when is it a good time to be handling a nano coated coil? It's kind of a trick question because maybe
never.
maybe the answer is never. No, multiple choice question. When is the best time to handle the nano coated coil? Right after nano coating, after letting it sit for a few days, or never? And we actually should have, I was thinking too, it'd be nice to have a kind of a, what do they call it, a quiz or something like that with a nano and GANs quiz that would, if you could answer the 20 questions on the quiz, say, then you would be a GANs master, nano master. You would have sort of a good understanding if you could answer all the questions properly, and if you didn't, then you could have uh, links to information that could educate someone to find out more about why you use this concentration of salt or whatever it is that someone might not know.
Yeah, no, but I think it's a very good idea actually. Just come up with a little cue here and there that things that people tend to miss and stuff like that. Just keep asking them good questions, I say. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
and
That's a
good
great
idea.
idea.
if someone could make it through the quiz, then they wouldn't be asking so many questions of everybody else, and you know what's the proper technique for this nano coating process, and so on and so forth. It could all be embedded in the quiz, so that if you make it through the quiz, then basically you know the basics of that technology. All right, what do we have here, Lee?
Well,
Did
that's
you
my
just whip this up in the background while you were waiting?
no. This is the standard MagGrab 14 gauge coil template. So it's
Okay.
so I can lay a 14 gauge coil on that and
Oh, you lay the
follow
coil
the.
right on it. It's actual, real size, actual size, like.
Yeah, I actually traced the coil to make the drawing. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right
anyway,
on.
and then
Okay.
I added my instructions there just in case I get to teach this to somebody someday soon, and then they can have my instructions how I nano coat my coils. So
Right on. Nice. A lot of detail there. Oh, your little plastic wire spacer. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
You
like those. They're working good. So
okay? Yep. You. I see. Yeah. Yeah. You more or less explain it there. You show it's just four holes in a row, basically, right? That the.
yeah, yeah. So I find I got to put a little dab of hot glue in the middle between the coils just to keep them separated because sometimes they're tight and they're the wires are touching.
Mm-hmm.
And then I slide that square piece of plastic over the wires and put a bit of hot glue top and bottom on the holes, and that just sort of keeps everything spaced and where I want it, kind of thing.
Right, and then
So
you have the slip-on connectors that go onto those wires. Is that the way it goes there?
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like a Western Union place, only the coils are reversed on so that they slide together. In Western Union
Right.
place, you got the coils so it can't pull apart.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, and there's a guy named Clive in one of the other groups, and they call it a Clive connector, but he doesn't have the little loops on the end of his wires. He just sort of plugs them in like a Narman connector, and when he slides them together. So that's we've
Right. Okay.
I always put them right through and then cut them to length and then do the little twist for the loop there, and that sort of locks them in place so they can't fall
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah.
But they can't fall apart in these installations anyway. But in maybe the main grab in and grab out that may fall apart if you depending on how how your build is or how your project is set up. But so the little loops tie it together so it can't fall apart. So
Yeah. Interesting. Nice.
so anyway, there's the template if anyone wants to use it.
Right on. We've got that one nailed. I like the color coding too. That helps with the clarity.
So the only other thing, I showed you this guy last week. It was only one day in on the test for how quickly it was nano coating, and after 4 days, it was right in the middle of the 1 foot wire. It was really black, so I think it means I need to do some more testing on this one. So I'm going to change the GANTs to the copper oxide GANTs with a drop or two of CO2 and CH3 and just see how that works. And maybe
Now,
I'll mix up these ganses right now. They're separated in these tubes. Maybe I'll mix them all together and try that again too. So with this thing, I got my 6 foot leads from the car MagGrav
Mm-hmm.
for if you mount it in the car, that goes to the battery, so you can mount it within 6 feet of the battery. And then for testing, I just put this 1 foot length of wire in between these leads and see how quickly it nano coats. That's my test to see if it works and how
Right.
strong
And
the
how do
plasma is.
you
So
how do you check again? You actually have to open up the wire in the middle to.
yeah, every day I just take about a 1/4 inch of insulation off just to see how the wire is inside.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably doesn't show up there, but it goes from lighter brown to medium brown to sort of black, and
Mm-hmm.
that's sort of every day as you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So of course,
And
once you expose it to the air out of the insulation, it doesn't change color. But so that's why you have to keep cutting it back a little bit to
mm-hmm.
see how it's working.
Hmm.
And then for this test, I want to see it black right in the middle, so the whole length of the 1 foot wire is nano coated.
And you would expect that within a day or two, or
Well, this one was 4 days, but I didn't
and
check it
is
at
that
the 3 day mark, so it could have been black in 3 days. So that's why I gotta
is that pretty
try it
good, or
again.
is that not so good?
Well, this doing with the 1 foot wire, I haven't done. I've only done maybe 10 magravs with it so far this way,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going anywhere from 3 days to 6 days, and some of them are worse than that. So this one here was 4 days, but I didn't check in the 3 days, so it might have been black at 3 days. I should put a new piece of wire in here and check it again. But I
Right.
gotta play
And
with the ganses in that tube too. So
okay. And to be clear, you initiate it with a little dab of diluted caustic. Is that the way you start the wire, or how do you get it going?
well, I gotta the leads from the maggrav are nano coated to begin with. Okay, that's why you see this one's wrapped around this black, and the center wire on inside this one's black. But this piece of green wire is just, it's got no nano coating on it. It's just straight copper.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be the Western Union splice there,
Right. Okay.
and I'm trying to get 9 turns on it each side.
I see. Yeah.
And then once you wrap the turns on it, then I put the caustic sugar solution on it.
On just the Western Union, or on part of the wire itself too, like
Any wire that's exposed there gets coated with the caustic.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've wrecked my nano coating by twisting it, and
Mm-hmm.
and of course the copper hasn't started nano coating at all. So
I see. Good. Okay.
but the copper, I don't know, after a couple, 2 or 3 weeks, it starts to turn black. But within the testing of this 1 foot wire, it never turns black. It always stays copper. So anyway.
All right. Very good. Thank you.
So that was an interesting experiment that needs some more experimentation. And that's all I got this week.
Alrighty. Thank you, Lee. Thank you very much. And get myself up there. Okay. So, does anyone else have something they would like to present? See, there's a question from Plasma Head. It says, can we talk about electron vibration and how the interaction of the vibration feeds the plasma?
I'm having a little difficulty. I'm stuck in I've created an equator, okay, and I'm just working with the dynamics of the gains, okay, and the fields are interacting, and I've created I made a static reactor, and then put a 3-stacker on it, okay, dropped it into some CO2, and it's doing its thing. Man, things are really getting bizarre. It's so awesome, but I'm missing a vibration. There's something that I'm not. There's something I'm missing. So, is there like an orgon accumulator? What is it that I'm missing? There's a vibration, I've done tried to go through all the emotional states that I possibly can put my physicality through to understand that strength of that emotion.
Okay,
And
tell us. Explain your setup once again. Once again, there. You
I'm
have.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Did I cut out?
No, no. I want you to explain your setup there once again, so I understand what you're.
Would you like to see it? My lab is a complete wreck, dude. I've been going
Well,
150 miles an
that's
hour,
okay.
dude. Yeah,
Just you
I'm
can just
sorry.
explain it. If you just to explain it the way you did, I just wanted to get clear on what it in my head what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. I have my equator. All right.
What's a
Which
equator? What do you mean equator?
here, let me just give you a visual. All right.
Okay.
Oh, that's me. Oh, love y'all. Y'all are awesome. Okay. See this? All right. I'll give you an idea of what we're
Yeah.
working with here.
Yeah. What's the equator that you talked about though?
Yes. That okay, but see, oh, I know that there doesn't need to be no moving parts. There, it's just dynamics. Okay. Now, the thing that I'm running into, the problem that I'm running into is the vibration. I'm not being able to feed the nanomaterial in a proper way where it will extend itself, where the plasma will, evolve. I don't know how else to say it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm just
so
learning. I'm learning, but I'm working hard, and it's
you're trying to create the conditions then to like activate
yes,
the,
system.
the
Yes,
GANs.
yes.
So what kind of have you tried fields like high voltage fields and that kind of
No,
thing,
no.
or
I don't want to.
low
I don't want
voltage
to
or
nothing but field interactions because I want pure dynamics from just the decomposition of the matter. Okay, and in the strengths of those um, field interactions in the cores, if that
okay,
makes
well,
any sense.
right, and how does that how does your own physicality field interactions
Oh my
interact with
god,
that?
I am so blessed, dude. I'm so happy. I've never been so. Oh my god, man, everything is just all right. Okay, so let's get past that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we used to dwell there. Let's just
Yeah.
we'll touch on it and pass by. Yeah.
Okay, so look,
Okay,
my
carry on now.
gravitational is like super strong. Can I share a picture, please?
Sure.
Awesome. I want to show you all something that this is awesome. This is so awesome.
It's not a copyright picture though, right?
No, it's from my phone. Yes, sir.
Oh,
It's not
it's
it's
your
not
own
gonna.
picture.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, check this out. This is so badass. Okay. It was sitting on the bottom, but I started the magnetic wind in here and it rose. Actually, I just came and sat in here and all of a sudden it moved. But okay, now we've evolved from this position, okay? And we're getting into a stronger um well, hold
We
on. I want to
lost
show
your screen share there.
okay. Well, I want to show you all another picture, okay? Of this is a magnetic wind that was created inside here, and oh my God, this is so amazing! This is so amazing! I am so blessed. I love Dr. Kesh. Well, Miss Kesh, forgive me. How can we be so blessed? Check this out.
Okay,
Amazing.
so there's like a hollow piece and
Yes,
there's like a vortex in there, kind of.
sir. Yes, sir. Now we've moved past this. All right. Now we're getting into the depths, but I'm missing of the man. I'm missing something. I don't know what it is. I can't put my fingers on it. I've been doing nothing but studying and studying. I've been looking and
What's in
researching everything,
the
but I'm missing something.
what's in the copper coil around it? There is there any? There's no
Okay, that
power on it or anything, eh?
CO2. No,
CO2
I'm not
inside
using
it?
no
Is it?
power.
It's hollow
Yes,
coil, hollow
yes,
tube.
yes, yes. It. I just sprayed it down with on your last group, or maybe it was a group before last. You were saying something about having a copper coil around it, and it would be like an electron trap.
Mm-hmm.
So it would feed into the center. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here, let me show you a picture of what we have going on now. Oh, that's me again. Sorry.
It's
All right.
okay. It didn't show up yet.
Okay. Now, inside here, I have a static reactor here. Let me spray it down real quick. You'll be able to see it really good. Nano coating is awesome, man. Look at the crystals on these coils. They're growing, man. They're just like evolving. It's incredible. It's spectacular. Okay. Now I'm getting flashes. I can see the fields moving like this. Like they're moving all around me. See, I have a core up there. It's a double core reactor, but I just want just the field interactions. On the fan, I hooked another core, but that's just with neodymium. I was thinking neodymium would be the best because it's an electron producer, and then I'll kick it on low and get it moving, and that way everything starts circulating. And then holy mackerel,
I see something else circulating around there too. There's a
yeah.
fly flying
Yeah.
around.
Well, my wife had the door open for a while. We live out in the woods, dude, and she had the front porch light on. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we're out in the forest, bro. It's awesome. But anyways, forgive me. I'm sorry. But
Okay. Well, thank you for showing that. I'm not sure what we can suggest as far as how you can get your thing to respond there. See, there's a couple of people that were in the waiting room and now into the chat here. Okay, is that all you want to present for today,
well, I
Zane,
guess
or what do you got going there?
I would really like to. I would really appreciate more depth of input, so where we can collaborate and unite and evolve from the position that we're in now. Because man, we're in a bad place, and freedom is here, and it's like, why aren't we there yet? I don't understand this, but I love y'all. Thank you for everything that you do.
Okay, well, it's definitely a process that takes time, so that's why we're here, is we're trying to work through that process. And part of it is working with stuff in the physicality, but a lot of it is working with our own emotions and other parts of ourselves. So, Libby says, maybe somebody else has something they can add or help help with that situation. What about electron vibration? What about the feeding of the plasma through vibration interaction and all that? It's interesting how there seemed to be a vortex in the center of that coil. A coil similar to
Oh,
that.
there is. Yes, dude. There's a magnetic wind in here. I had a maggrav hooked up to a refrigerator. Okay, and I'd open up the refrigerator. Okay, and once it kicked on to the DC cycle, the plasma flow was incredible. It would start spinning in here so fast. And I was like, but I just don't know how to direct it. I don't know how to control it. So I'm thinking that the vibration, you know. Well, anyways, that
Well,
that Mac grab
one
went
thing that comes to mind,
with a static reactor.
one thing that comes to mind is when you put a coil like you did around that bottle and so on, that copper coil, it's now susceptible to all the fields around that area. It's acting as an antenna or a sink to bring in that energy from those fields, and it's so in effect it's if you got other things that are running in the room that it looks like you got a lot of things running in there. You should catch some of them too, probably. But no, you might have a maggrav or a piece of equipment or even just the fan running and so on that can get picked up by that coil and transferred inside to the experiment that you have going on in there. So maybe that's what's happening, is picking up on the vibes of the room, or it could even be equipment underneath of the room, or on top of the room, or beside the room, and so on. Because the magnetic fields will travel quite a long distance, and those coils can pick up on that. Anyway, that's one aspect of it, perhaps. But
This is Denny, Rick.
hi, Denny. Go ahead.
So, for plasma head, do you have a outcome that you're looking for?
Yes, man. I'm working on
What
structures.
what is
I'm
it that
working,
you?
yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I mean, the outcome that you're working for is okay. I didn't. I interrupted you, so go ahead.
Now I want a complete environment where I can live in it and be free and be happy.
Do you have an outcome for this from this experiment?
Yes,
What
many,
is?
many, many, many. Man, the whole environment of everything around me is completely changed. My wife, my dogs, everything. It's just, it's like, man, time has no relevance anymore. It's amazing. Wow. Today is already Wednesday. Well, it's Thursday. Last week it was Thursday. So was the week before that. But how did we get here?
Let me tell you something, Zane. Let me tell
Just,
you, brother. When you let's say you're a cook and a very new cook, you started learning doing it, and then you come up with a really nice recipe for yourself, and you cooked it, and it's so nice. It smells wonderful in every way, in your environment, and then you tasted it, and then after that first taste, this is that excitement that what I see. It's the taste that you actually experiencing the real thing. It's so good that it's unbelievable. I can understand
it's
it.
bliss, bro.
Totally self. I mean, but to be able to digest that, I'm going to come to a point where what is missing. You need to digest that food. You need to sit in your stomach for a while for one food, not a series of experiments, but one experiment, and then you'll come up with something that what the missing part is actual and is. That's my idea. See what you think. What you think about that?
I think that's awesome. But dude, I've been consuming liquid plasma. I know I'm oversaturated. I don't eat no more. I haven't eaten in like forever. There's there's no need to eat anymore. It's like this is the most awesomest thing that it just blows me away. Inside my field, I don't feel no pain. I don't even feel no hunger. I'm full. I'm totally satisfied with all my conditions in the environment. I'm happy. The only thing is I can't fly yet. Or it's but I'm missing the vibration, man. There's a key. There's a spot that I haven't hit yet. That, man, everything's rotating. Everything is rotating. Everything's moving, and it's like, but there is no moving parts. It's just the gravitational field strength of the bottom is so strong, okay, that the equator is, it's like, oh man, wow, man, Mr. Keshe is just unbelievably a genius, man. God, holy shit, how can we be so blessed? Forgive me, I'm sorry.
Zane, it sounds like you're flying to me. It's just that your feet aren't going off the ground, but you're flying.
Yeah, sounds pretty up there, all right. Okay, well, um, maybe we should bring things a little more back to Earth here. But that's good, Zane. Good to hear you're doing well there and that your environment has changed due to this experimentation and so on. That's what it's all about, so that's really cool. Okay, maybe we could move on to Libby. Is there anything else you want to say there, Plasma Head? Or any other questions about that from anyone else?
Thank you all very much. Thank you. I'm sorry. I just, I'm trying to get somewhere, and I'm stuck with so many questions, and I can't get the answers, and I don't know
Well,
where.
you need to just sort of calm down a bit and try to formulate your question exactly. And as soon as you get that formulation exact and ask the question, then you'll get the answer that you need. But you need to work with it. And it's part of the process is as an experimenter, sometimes we have to work with something, struggle with it, and think about it and feel it and work with it with our hands and so on. And finally, we come up with the right question to ask in order to proceed to the next level. And that's once the question actually gets formulated, then an answer will appear relatively immediately after that because it's all in the formulation. So if you can get your question exact and then maybe present it to the group here, it would just be a succinct question that will be enough to get you just to the next level, whatever that is in your structure. And that goes for anyone. It's we all get stuck in different levels, and we want to try to evolve to the next level. And it all comes down to asking the right questions and receiving the answers.
Thank you, Rick.
This is Denny. I still have a question for Plasma Head.
Okay.
You never revealed what you meant by equator, and so I have to kind of hallucinate what you're thinking of the equator. So I look at your experiment you were showing me there with the microtube around the jar, and so I was looking at, well, is that the middle of your jar when you're
No,
talking
sir.
about?
No, sir.
What are you talking about?
The equator is the GANs balls all around the room. Okay, I loaded them heavy. I made hydrogen GANs all the way to bismuth, and I loaded them as heavy as I possibly could, and just hung them, But first, what I did is I would take the ball and I would move it towards the other one, and I would see where it started to give, where it would pull it and then push it away, and then that's where I knew it was satisfied. So then I'd hang them, and I did that to all of them, and then I know each one was of a kind of a different strength. So in book one, Mr. Keshe starts discussing that when when fields collide, they become of the same strength. So it just kind of made me think that if I was to smack them around a little bit, I mean, not smack them around a little bit, but, make them hit each other, that they would become of the same field strength of one another, even if they weren't equal. You understand? So,
This is what I understand a
yes.
little bit of it. This is Denny, Plasma Head. So when you put your GANs ball up and you hung them, when they finally settled in their position, then your plasma strengths, if you were using magnets instead of plasma, and they hung.
They are magnets.
Oh, well, yes. Okay. But I'm saying if you use like a neodymium magnet or a nickel magnet and you hung it there, and you wouldn't get any reading of magnetism unless one of them was moving. If you move one, the other ones are going to respond.
Right, right,
And you
right.
wouldn't get a reading of magnetism unless something was moving. And so if you
It just
have,
gotta be okay.
I'm not suggesting that what I'm saying is correct, but you may want to take a plasma ball, and like you said, you smacked it around. But if you have them where they finally come to rest, take another plasma ball and move it and see how they all of them respond. I don't know how big the room is, but you did show us around. But when you showed us around, it wasn't comprehensible to know that those were plasma balls hanging from the room for me. So I'm asking you these questions, and go ahead, respond.
Well, I loaded the inner cores, but I also added just a little bit of caustic and a tiny bit of aluminum, just where the inside of it can flower. And then on the outside of them, I coated them as heavy as I could, going around, and just to bring up the magnetism or the repulsion. Well, well. I don't know. Man.
When you found their location,
Yes.
and you found that you were satisfied the position to hang one next to the other.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Well, I took one, okay, and as I was hanging it, I would put it next to the other one, and wherever it started to pull, like gravitate to it or repel, that's where I would hang it. But the funny thing is those metal balls that are like in line, and you take one and you smack it, and the other one pops out.
Yeah, that's a nice little
Well,
game.
yes, that's exactly how these work. I come in here and I want to get the fields to interact, and then I want to see how they find themselves balance, and how they position themselves. I'll just come in here and I'll disturb them all, and they'll all just start moving, and everything's going so awesomely, like in sync. And the funny thing about it is they're like a wave. It's like, oh man.
So you seem you're sensitive to certain events that take place around you and the plasma taken around you. When they're moving like that, what do you sense? What kind of equipment do you use to pick up any kind of measuring
No
device?
equipment, man. It's just observation. You can see it. You can actually see the fields, and you can see them interacting. Well, I got to take that back. Okay, I do put an awful lot of CO2 steam in the air, because once the room gets like saturated with it, you can almost see the fields as if it's like a vapor, like propane. Have you ever seen what propane looks like coming out of a tank?
Now that's your secret, Zane. Now I know it very, very well. I mean, I didn't know that. I was always wondering what that misty. All your photos are misty, and it's just unbelievable. And I was wondering about that. Yeah, go ahead, please. Thank you.
I have another question there too, and I think somebody in the chat has the same question. Is do you keep a journal? Do you record what's happening, what you do, and how you do it?
I take
And
notes
so that
constantly.
okay, so
Dude, this is my life, bro.
duplicating.
This is what I do, bro.
Do
This
you
is the best
duplicate?
thing I've ever done in my life. It's so amazing. There's a discovery after discovery, and it's like, man, how can you just be so blissful? I mean, man, we're getting there. We are almost there. I can't figure out if I need some kind of something keeps pounding in my head about an orgone accumulator, and I don't know why this keeps hitting me in the head. But you know, I have a hydrogen, well, a CH3 double core reactor at the top, okay, and it's got a hydrogen cell inside of it, and then on the bottom, you know, I have my heavy CO2 gravitational GANs in a star formation, but they're in Coke bottle, you know, 2 liter Coke bottles. So it's just like everything's positioning itself. But oh man, I don't know. I'm trying to get somewhere, but it's really hard to talk to people that don't it. That just I feel like I'm all alone out here, man.
That missing resonation, that vibration that you're saying, just put a motor with a good one, and put
There is no need for motors, man.
but that, okay,
That's the awesomeness of dynamics of
yes, then the
the
missing
field.
bit be you to replace that motor. That's the only running thing, actually beating and running. And then that, I think that comes to a point where you
I don't
discover.
know nobody who runs as hard as I do, brother.
Pardon?
I said I don't know anybody who runs as hard as I do. I don't know how much more to feed it.
Well, that's you, man. That's the bit that you need to activate it, in terms of all that you're seeing. It's and you're, if you're still thinking there is something missing, that maybe is actual, maybe is you. I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, you could be right. You know what's really awesome is I can kick off the lights in here, and I put on an ultraviolet light. Okay, and man, this container glows like the Incredible Hulk, but I can't catch it on the picture on my phone. But holy moly! Then there's particles in here that look like stars, dude, and they're just floating all around. It's
Oh, you
amazing.
need to
It's amazing.
be able to capture all this, so that it's a good, it's like a diary. I mean, I don't know, it sounds really good, Zane. I mean, yeah, I love to see all that. I love to experience all that with you.
This is Denny again. I guess Plasma Head, you go by Zane too. Um, uh,
Zane's my name, brother.
okay, Zane. Uh, and I'm Denny. So
I love you
when
and
you're
all that.
sitting there with the blue light, with the, was it the black light you said you had? You turn the regular lights off, and what?
Yes, sir. It's a different spectrum. It's like I'm feeding it, but
Okay. Once
it's
you can see things, and
yeah.
you can see them, and you can see now with your mind, try to move them, control them.
Dude, they move whenever I want them to.
Okay, they move where you do. They
If
move
I
where.
tell them to spin right, they spin right. I tell them to stop, they stop. I tell them to spin left, they start spinning left. It's amazing. I'm
Okay.
telling you, it's crazy. I don't understand half the shit I'm into, and it's like, but I know what I know. This is this is what's gonna change the world, and we're almost there.
Well, one thing you did say, you said that you put hydrogen GANs in the center of your unit. So you're ahead of me. I haven't experimented and worked on hydrogen GANs yet. So, and you're ahead of me in a lot of respects as being sensitive and seeing these things and controlling them. So that's important. Uh, so now that you can spin them one way and spin them the other way, uh, try to create. Let me see.
Well, see, the thing that I was thinking, okay, is how Mr. Keshe was saying that if we had like a a ring, okay, and if I could just get the bearings that I need, man, where I could put these balls on the bearings. Once one gets going, they're all gonna start moving. I mean, that's just how they're interacting, and it's like, man, I'm just working with what I got. Man, all I got is my wife and my love, you know. But man, I'm doing the best I can.
Lee put he set up and made a a chute, a circular chute out of wood where the balls could roll in it. Did you see that
No,
particular?
no, 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 no. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, you know how whenever you stick a Gans ball on top of a computer fan, okay, and you
Yeah.
start spinning it with, let's say you made Gans out of a hard drive disk, okay, and you start spinning it next to your computer, and then your computer gives you the blue screen of death. All right, you understand that, right?
Not particularly.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Well,
No, but somebody may. That's just because I don't doesn't mean that somebody else won't.
Yeah,
well,
blue screen means the computer's got big problems.
yeah. So what I've come to the determination of is that if they could spin freely, okay, then the fields would expand themselves to the point that everything would grab, it would catch, and boom. Yes, that's an awesome picture. Thank you very much.
Well, I think I've done my damage. If anybody else wants to chime in, they sure may.
My perspective, Zane, you seem to be in overwhelm because there's so many fields in your lab. And, separating some of our experiments or some of your experiments might help you get a different perspective on it if you can. And also, when Denny talked about being a
Hello, Libby.
you know,
We're,
I'm sorry?
we missed the last sentence or two there. You cut out for a few seconds, at least at my end.
Is it better now?
Yeah, you're fine now. Go ahead.
Oh, good. Okay. I was just saying that sometimes when you if you get out of your lab and into nature, you're in the woods, you say, and go ask a tree or just ask yourself to come through without the fields, but knowing that you're very much in those fields, just to get a perspective, a different perspective that will, take some good breaths because obviously the fields in your lab are enormous. And you may just need to step away and or record it with your camera when you ask it to move left, say it in front of your camera so that you can be recording doing that and show the movement. Then as you start to see it from a different perspective, it seems to me you're in you're flying, and that is for sure. I mean, I hear you and I get so excited. But can you still hear me, by the way? Yeah.
Yes, Libby, we can hear you. I can hear you. This is
Thank you.
Denny. And another thing that I would add to, along with what Libby is saying, is set up another lab
Yeah.
separate from this one and start with your basics and record that so that you have control of all the influences from step one to step two to step three. You can always go to your other lab for your original lab for inspiration. Would set up a new lab. It can be anything. It can be a teepee for all that is concerned. Uh, just so that it's a structure that keeps the tree woo out of your experiments and keeps the rain off of your stuff. So that would be that's as the same. It's a similar suggestion that Libby's doing, but it's a little more complicated.
Yeah, that's a pretty good suggestion that many of us could use. I've actually done the same thing here. I've got a lot of messiness in my lab and distracting things and so on. And so I've opened up my back room to be more of a storage area and also a separate lab space. So I'll have a place to do GANs that's separate from my more living area here and so on, and keep some of the fumes and other things away from this area. And it's inspiring going to a new space and setting it up the way you want. And without the influences of the other things in our space.
Yeah, I was considering that. I was thinking that, if the fields transferred of all the matters of the things that are in here, then I can move through anything. Is that there won't be no
Well,
restriction
it's sort
to
of like
transfer.
this, yeah. But on the other hand,
I
it's
know it's
like
in a way.
it's
Yeah,
like
you're right.
having
Yes.
if we have no restrictions and we open our mind up to everything, then we're not focused on any one thing, and we can't carry through on any particular purpose because it's like Mr. Keshe says, there's as many different types of reactors as there are stars in the universe. And we know there's billions, billions, plus, plus, trillions, plus, and it goes on. The more they look, the more they find, and that's the problem. The more you look, the more you find. And so, for our purposes, we can't focus on every star in the universe. That would be impossible. So, like astronomers will focus on one star system, or they'll focus on one aspect of all those stars, or they'll focus on, maybe just the sun as their main thing that they focus on, and so on. So I think we have to do that too. Like Guy and I have probably come up with the idea for over 100 different types of reactors, well over 100, I'd say, over the last 4 or 5 years or something. And we've documented a lot of those, but some of them just got away. They were great ideas, and they kind of got away. And we can go back to them at a certain point when we pick up on it again. But it gets to be that there's so many ideas that
Get one work,
you
and then
can't.
structure everything from that one. You know, then
Mm-hmm.
we can move. Then we can move like a unit instead of being so scattered.
Mm-hmm. Right. So yes, we need some more demonstration and proving of the technology, and preferably in a relatively what would you call it, contained and reproducible situation. Like the more scientific the lab is, and scientific in the sense of um, controlling the conditions, I guess is what I'm trying to get to. So we don't have something, coming through, some sort of, bacteria coming through, or some sort of material landing into our experiment, and we think, "Oh, look at this GANs. It's a new type of red GANs I have that I've got from the copper or something." When it could be just something that blew in through the window, literally, and landed on your situation or whatever. So we have to learn to control the conditions better so that our results are consistent, number one, and get to be have more credentials in terms of with scientists. Can a scientist take it and say, okay, this is some new science here, and there's something we have to really look at? And can he take that and stretch it out and examine it in all of its ways, and still have it be valid in the way that we use the technology? So these are things. I think we do have to have more clinical trials and different real, university type experiments going on and whatnot. But the things that we're doing are still completely valid, and they enable us to get ourselves to the next step through our working with these ideas. We have something we look at, we visualize the fields, we try to perceive what is going on other levels other than just a straight physicality. What's going on beyond what we can see.
Would y'all like to observe something with me?
Well, it depends what you got going there.
Okay.
Okay, these are the GANs balls you were talking about, right?
Yes.
We need him. We don't have him complete on the picture.
Oh, maybe I have to spotlight it. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's much better. Are you asking them to move now, Zane?
No, I moved them because I wanted y'all to see how they're going to find position, how they start interacting. It's amazing.
So did you move them all at once, or did you just move
Yeah.
one?
No, I started about half of them.
It's true that if you have a room full of pendulums and they're started at different times to, as a pendulum going back and forth, they'll tend to synchronize. As we can see with some, like these three balls on the left and the top left there now, they seem to be, well, they were more or less synchronized.
But see, man, that's the key up there. That's the key up there.
Which is what the
That's
what
the
do you,
double core. The CH3 with the hydrogen.
and when you say hydrogen, what do you mean by hydrogen GANs, or what do
This
you how do you create that? Pardon me?
with CH3, caustic with aluminum and CH3.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But in the right proportion, because it's really nasty if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, the caustic eats up the aluminum pretty quick and creates a pure form of hydrogen. I'm not. The CH3 is the H is definitely in there as part of that as well. So
Thank you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be.
okay, well that's good. Maybe we can move on here to some other things then. Thank you, Zane. Or do you prefer to go with Plasma Head today?
Zane, thank you.
Either way. Okay.
Love you, Gee.
It's alright. I love you, brother. I feel your enthusiasm. I felt like very much like this at the beginning a few years ago when I was all over and I was overwhelmed by the discoveries and the news, and I feel your enthusiasm anyway. And my input to what's going on, I'd say the same thing too. I say you're seems to be surrounded by so many different experiment and different field interacting, and you got all these things around, and maybe to insulate your experiment place, and like Rick was saying, right now we kind of separate in the back, more like the room there to do some experiment, and maybe single out your experiment and then rotate them around, or in your living area. It just may interfere and overwhelm your circuit, maybe.
That's, well, that's true. That's what I found. It was just too overwhelming with all the stuff in the room here. So I made an actual storage area in the back, and
Here's
we've
your
got
work.
plastic containers and anything that's in the way here now. Just every once in a while, I just grab
No,
a
but
bunch
we
of
did it a
things,
couple times
put
here.
them in the plastic containers, and send them to the back room. Get them out of the way, and that way it allows me to think a little
There
more
you go.
clearly.
That's
Because
exactly.
everything we our eyes rest on in a room, all the different objects and so on,
A man cave.
they all take a little bit of our attention, right? And they're all calling to us. They're all saying, "Hey, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Look at me, look at me, look at me." They're all saying, "Look at me," in a way. All these, the pen, they either have a use or they're in the way and they're distracting, basically. If they don't have an immediate use, then it's distracting you somehow. And all those things that pull at our attention is part of why we can't focus our full attention in the present on the present situation. And like we have to collect our attention from these different spots that we've left our attention in different places. Like attention is very important. We sort of casually talk about it, but actually, to me, it's the absolute key of being able to progress to another dimension or to the next level. And normally, our attention is, in, like I say, in different places. Like we talk about attention, about placing attention on something, or on someone, or on some activity, or we lost our attention, or we might have we can place our attention, we can put our attention, we can extend our attention, we can withdraw our attention, we can do all these kinds of plastic things with this thing called attention, and we can increase our attention, and we can have an inward going attention and an outward going attention. And all of these things can be worked with. But first, we have to collect our attention. And back in many years ago, I had some friends that put a song together about that called Collect Your Attention. And you collect your attention from everywhere and bring it right back here, was the line in the song. So when you sing the song with a group, you're saying, collect your attention from everywhere and bring it right back here, like now. And, collect your attention from the past, from the future, from objects, from experiences, from emotions, and everything else, and bring it right into the present. All of those attentions to make your presence more present in the present through that action. So then you can start to work with attention in a more focused way. And again, like people that do meditation and so on, they usually like to have an altar or a place to set up to do their meditation. And it's usually not a really cluttered space. It's usually fairly clean, not cleanliness, but also more clean in terms of not too many objects. You might have some incense and a bell and a couple of other things in the altar, but generally it's not going to be thousands of items when they're meditating because it's too distracting for that environment. And so anyway, just a little thing about that, something I've noticed, and it really does help to go into to clean up the environment, basically.
I have to jump in here just for a moment. I want to add to Libby's thought about him going into nature. I will add to your thought about pulling the attention so he can go out in nature. He can pull his experiment from his thought, from the effects of what he has done, and bring each part that he wants to bring to that particular experiment in his visual perception at that location, also his physical perception, and even auditory perception, if that's what he uses. Uh, when you were talking about the different effects of putting things in the back room, if you have plasma in the back room that you have made and you have separated that plasma in two separate jars, you got a plasma in the back room and a plasma in the front room, they're still going to communicate with one another. There's going to be an interaction. I have a plasma that's sitting out 50 meters away in a tent-like building, and I have plasma that sits here in a jar, and I know there's an effect from both of them back and forth. If I had a movement in one and I had another helper out moving the other, you would see a response from one to the other. And so to get out, like Libby said, you can bring your thoughts and your experiment to that location and use it and come up with the ideas that you're trying to accomplish. And that would be help for you, Zane. So thank you, Rick. Thank you, Libby. Thank you, Zane. I'm no further comment.
Denny. I'm thinking I'd like maybe to move into Libby's thing. She had something she wanted to show.
Yay, yay. Okay, I'll share my screen.
A
And
plasma pup video. What the heck is that?
well, it's a creature that I saw last fall when I was, it was in August when I was living in the woods. I had tried to duplicate Dr. Gupta's um, experiment with the, um, oh, come on, um, ping pong balls in a batch of different layers of ganses. And anyways, I did see this thing, and I know Mark created something like this too. And I was changing my life a lot, but I carried this experiment around in different containers. And then as I'm starting to settle in, and Keshe keeps saying something about if we might meet a space creature and it has 20 legs and 20 arms, or we have to be. Well, I have this little creature that has remanifested. Oh, yes, I will start my video right now. How do I do that? I get that on first. Okay, I will.
Sounds like you're teasing us with just a description.
Okay, wait, how do I do this? Start my video. And here it comes. Oops, that's not it. There it is. Can you guys see it?
Let me get it pinned
Not
up
yet.
here. We
We
see
do
a
now.
white
Okay,
light thing.
yeah, there's a jar. Can you see it now? There's this little creature here. Can you see this?
All we see is a
Yes.
white light, Libby.
Ooh, okay. Oh. Okay, what am I not doing right? Maybe I'm not
Maybe
able
do you
to
have the
screen.
right camera?
Well, it's a video I created from.
Oh, sure. You're trying to show your desktop. Then you need to do a share screen.
Okay, so I'll do share screen, but now it's disappeared. Where did it go? There, can you see that? Or not yet?
No, you just see a white.
Okay,
I
what am
think
I
we're
doing?
seeing your
Oh, there's
video.
Plasma Pup.
Okay,
Wait,
there we go.
wait.
Now, yeah, you
Whoa.
shouldn't
Yeah, I didn't want
share
to do
your
that. I
desktop.
had
So
it. Can you see that now?
no, just see your desktop. You have to
Oh,
open up the
I had
thing
it
you
already.
want
Yeah.
and then share it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
stop the screen sharing
Oh, stop share. Okay.
or reshare,
Okay.
either way.
So I will do that. And then how do I hit screen share from in here? Oh, I was good at this at one point in my life. Uh, uh, okay, share screen. That's not the right.
Okay, well, you can
Okay,
probably,
wait there.
maybe you
Now
can
can you
just
see it?
double click on the picture and it'll show up.
Oh, it's paused.
See, you have to screen. You have to share a window rather than your desktop.
A window. So, oh, I'm so
So
sorry.
open the window first, maybe, and then have it ready to go. Have your
I had
picture
the
or video ready
okay.
to go.
Okay, let me just make sure there's nothing in the
And
background
then
now.
when you share a screen, you should be able to select that window.
Okay. And I'm so sorry.
It's okay. That's what we're here for, is to work through stuff like that. It might take a minute. Something's kicking in there. It might take a minute to show.
Please move this window away from shared application. Huh?
I think you're sharing. You're sharing your desktop, and you shouldn't be sharing your desktop. You should be sharing the picture. So, what? Can you open the picture? Or is it a video you're
It's
trying
a
to watch?
video. It's a
Okay.
video.
Can you open the video in a window first?
It seems to close as soon like I had that. I'm going to open it again in on my desktop. Okay. And then I'm already sharing somehow, so I have to stop the share completely.
Yeah. Stop the sharing of your
Oh,
desktop,
now I think I got it. Okay.
and then you can share just the individual video.
It's
Does it have volume with it?
it no. I mean,
Okay.
I do tell it I want to see it go into peace and something amazing happens. That's what I want to show you. But
Because if you want the volume, there's a place on the bottom left you turn on the volume.
Share
okay.
computer sound. Yeah.
Optimize for full screen video clip. Is that what I should be doing?
No, you shouldn't have to do that. I don't think.
Okay, because it is on behind me. It's now on my like it's its own thing. Oh, I'm
Okay,
so
you should be able to select it up in the in that window, the share window. Do you
all that
see?
comes up is a black Windows Media Player button, which is what it's on, Windows Media Player. But
Okay, well just click on that.
okay.
Okay, now we see it.
Oh, good. Okay, yay. So there's this little critter. I'll play it, but it's pretty amazing. And those are for, and I'll just play it and we can talk through it because there's no sound except at one point. And it's about, I think, 7 minutes long. But there's this creature that last summer, can you see it? This little character here? It's this thing right here. Can you see my?
Yeah, it's a little crawdad looking thing.
Yeah. So at
He
one
says
point,
looks like a shrimp. Yeah.
yeah, it does. Now there are three periwinkle shells that were filled with a GANS mixture, um, and the ping pong balls have GANs. And then you may also see this little light starting to move down to the bottom right there. See that? That's a little bottle of CH3 on the other side. I do show it, but okay, it gets fuzzy for a little bit because I'm trying to focus on what those things are, which turn out to be like little bubbles of energy. Do you see that? Yeah, a
Yeah,
positive
we see
light.
the bubbles there.
And do you see the light coming out of its eyes? And do you see the, like this like little ears? I decided to call. I was calling it slimy before, but that really showed my lack of appreciation for new creatures. And
Um, you
oh,
said
at that
it.
point,
What'd you say about periwinkles or snails or
well,
something?
there's three periwinkles, which are like a snail.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, and they were empty shells, but obviously the remnants of what it was in the shell, because this appeared, or I don't know that it's from the shell. This is what I'm
Oh.
and and it it's something that I know Mark had an experience with. We called it at that time, I think we called it the blob. Um, but because we're supposed to be interacting with, and I don't know, so I started to look at it and send love energy to it and peace energy. And at one point, I vocalized peace. And when I did, see in here, those really started to jump out within seconds after I said, okay, I send you peace, a lot of peace. And then these formed into like a triangle. I'll keep letting it run. Um, and hopefully you'll hear me say peace to it, but it said it pretty softly because I was trying to do it from my own heart, but I realized I better say it so I can see if there's a difference when I say it. Um, but are those possibly hydrogen bubbles? Because this is a a zinc GANs. And ever since I put that container in, which was just maybe a week ago, I started to see little bubbles in there.
Say whether it be hydrogen, usually you would take, is salt water in there,
Um,
it's
it's
not
hard for me to know. It's a lot of distilled water with all kinds of ganses in there.
right? No caustic though, right?
No, no caustic. You don't need
Right.
caustic. It's not really my favorite friend. See
It
that
could.
beading down here? See
Pardon
how
me.
this? You see how the energy is coming through this container? On the other side of it, there we go, is a little uh, CH3 container that has sending energy through it. It seems because it was really gravitating to that little jar and it's really moving in there. That's by itself. I can see it from far away. It's just that that water is bubbling. It's just sending energy. And nothing else in this room is shaking like that is. And then I'll bring it back up. I was like, what the heck is this? But I want to be joyful and appreciate because I realize this could be like a space creature, or maybe it's just a snail that grew. And but look at how
Huh.
these are starting to line up and form some kind of triangular movement around it. Do you see?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then at one point I said peace, and these little things just started to come out. I think it should be happening soon. It's not much longer, guys. But I am so curious, and I did start to talk about it in the classes yesterday, and a couple people told me to talk to it and send energy and see if it reacted. So I don't know when I said peace, but all these things started to protrude afterwards.
What is the other yellow?
Down here,
Yes, the one next to
I
its
I
head.
think it's either part of it or it's another one growing, or it's because last summer when I took it, and I hope I can find pictures, I swirled the whole container around and it broke up, totally broke up, and then recongealed. And I was like, holy mackerel, okay. Um, um, I was just pretty amazed because it made me realize my concepts of what I want to see as plasma and what is created. I better get over my ew yuck factor and enjoy what I'm seeing because for
So,
me it's a huge yuck factor. It's
so
like, yep,
Libby, this is Denny.
yes,
I have to ask again. When you said you swirled it around, that
yeah.
little yellow creature then broke up and
I
was
didn't do it this year, but
you,
last in August when I saw this first and was much bigger than this, and it's gone through a lot of moving and packing and being in a closed jar, being in an open jar. Um, but since I've finally settled down here, I started playing with this again, giving it my attention to see what I could see. And this is what's manifesting. So at this point, I don't want to stir it around and because I don't want to break it up again, but um, I will, although it's that respect for life form. I want to shake you up. And like, I realized, wow, if this was a space creature, I ignored it for a long, long time. It's obviously part of the earth because there it is. But it's even interesting how when I did tell it peace, and I think I've missed it here. When did I tell you peace? We must have missed it. I must have been talking through it. These little, what I call legs, started to come out, and it's like, holy mackerel. And see how right here, there's like two little eyes. I took some pictures as well, but I don't want to overwhelm anybody.
I think I finally see the two little eyes.
Oh, good, right in here. And when I started calling it pup, it's like it created little puppy ears for me. It's like, okay, because I've been wanting a pet, and I realized, well, I got my little pet right here. I don't have to feed it too much.
Is it actually growing, or is it just all came at once in one size?
It wasn't even in there for a while, but I had seen it last year. And when I say it wasn't even in there, it looked like, you want me to put it back on, or should I look for pictures? Oh, well, anyway. Whoops, are you guys still there? Did I close you out?
Who are you talking to?
I
Your
can't find
pictures
it.
or us? We're here, just
I'm
so you
all over
know.
the place. I feel, you're there. That's good. Okay. Anyways, any ideas, or should I put it back on so that you can see it to talk through it, or is that enough now?
Well, it's good to
No,
have a
it's your
picture so we can talk about it. Yeah,
it's
Okay,
thanks.
your
and then,
show.
yeah, it's my show. Okay, so maybe now that you look at this from the beginning, you can see that the triangle wasn't really there. Like when I say triangle, see, there's a line here of these bubbles, and there's another line there. Can you see it still?
It's the Big Dipper.
Well, it's amazing. And it seems to react to my emotions as if, well, I don't want to send it hatred. I certainly sent it enough disgust when I first saw it. I was like, whoa, the heck is this? And then I realized, wait, this is, if you're going to encounter creatures like this in space, you better be calm and loving. So I changed my attitude, and it seemed to change its form into a more um, reactive thing in a good way. Um, and I guess what I'm seeing and what everybody else may not be seeing may not be the same, but there's definitely, they're finding their space around there, these little bubbles. I call them hydrogen bubbles because that's what I've been wishing for, is to get a plasmatic form of hydrogen. And since I know, well, you know how I am about bubbles. Um,
Well,
I
you could try like using either a little butane torch or even a lighter or some
okay,
other flame. You could try a candle, but it might drip wax in there. And just
uh,
try to ignite one of the bubbles. And
okay.
if it pops, then you've got hydrogen. And if it doesn't do much at all, then it's just an air bubble.
Oh, okay.
When you look at these bubbles from the side of the jar, are they on the same plane? Because they look like they're on the same plane. They're all on the same level. Are they sitting on the top, or are they
Yep.
sitting under the water?
No, they're sitting on the top.
Sooner or later, this was expected. This is a monoatomic condition. It's a primordial soup. It is what is expected from it. Perhaps we're all doing this, but in its this scale, and this is something wonderful. That's what I think. I mean, um, yes, this is so natural to the plasmatic condition, and where you have created it, and with all the love you have, Libby. I mean, you're all about. It's so influential. I love it. I love watching. Thank you. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Okay, well, thank you, Alper, because I appreciate, it was like, oh my goodness, what is this? And I've been trying to work with the rings and the different ganses, but the more I listen to Mr. Keshe, the more I realize I don't have a clue what kinds of ganses I'm really using because I don't have any equipment to test what it is. The CH3 that's in this little container. Rick, do you remember when I showed you what I thought I had created as life um, in a little vial? Oh, it was quite a long time ago. And I'd used a quartz crystal, and there was like this blood that appeared, or it looked red, very
Yeah.
red.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I took some of that and put it in distilled water and made 3 little containers like that. Um, and you see how that seems to be pulsing light or energy into the container? Because that bottom one seems to be very, very drawn to it. And I'm assuming that's going to come to life, the bottom thing that looks similar to the
Mm.
top.
I I uh, I would first look to see if there was reflection coming off of the bottle. If there was a light
Oh,
hit
there's a light on the other side.
that's hitting your CH3 bottle and
Yeah.
reflecting off into your other container. That'd be one of the first things I'd look for.
Okay. Well, that's probably exactly what's happening then, because to me, when I'm sitting, that little jar is just a shaking. That there's like a little bubble in there that's shaking, and it's the only container in here that's shaking. So it's like, okay, what the heck is that? Um, anyways, I that might be what it could very well be that.
I'm not saying that it is,
Yeah,
but
to
that's what
me,
I would look and check.
that's why I went down. I thought, okay, what's creating that? I thought it was the CH3 container, but it might just be light bouncing off that and coming back.
It looks
Okay.
like there's more of the red material on the bottom of your container there on the side where the CH3 container is. Right? It seems to
Ah,
be
yeah, so maybe
massing
it's
up
being
more
drawn
there.
to it. Yeah, it could be.
And that's also where this other strange being has appeared as well. So maybe
Absolutely.
that's related to it. Yeah, that
Well,
would
I'm going to
be.
keep documenting the plasma pup and I'll keep you posted. But I'm so grateful that I had a place where I could show it and ask questions like, guys,
Yeah.
whoa.
Oh, yeah. This is the Plasma Pups Veterinary Clinic here.
We'll put that in a quiz.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good. Okay. Perfect.
Somebody you must know.
What is this? A, B, C, and D.
Oh,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah. Anyway, this was, I will keep a record, and it is about attention because I was ignoring this. But it has been around for a long time because I remember seeing it, and I hopefully can find old pictures from last August that show what happens when I shake it up. I just don't feel like shaking it up. I feel like I'm keeping um, a plasma in a container, and
Yeah, it's like
I
it's a
sure don't want to
very carefully crafted environment. You probably don't want to shake it up.
shake it up.
Is you can imagine it's almost got that embryo shape as well if it was wrapped up a
Oh, it
little
does.
more.
Yeah, yeah.
And if we think about it, this would be a similar environment that was perhaps the first life created.
Well, you
You
know,
know.
when Mr. Keshe says, look into your box and see if this is how you want to look, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to look like that? Oh, but then I have to make friends with it and be at peace with it because I realize our concept of what we should look like is so indoctrinated that,
Well, yeah. If we think about it, if there is a creator and one became the creator, is there any bugs and snakes that you would not create? You
yeah, exactly.
know, it's
And
all
our
part of the picture, right?
well, this is what my lesson of psychological impact on my head was like, okay, um, make peace with it because this is a lesson for you if you meet somebody like this, or this is you. This is
Mm-hmm.
a level of consciousness. It's like, holy mackerel, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thank you guys. I won't take any more time,
No,
but
there's a question from
oh,
Jay. He wants to
okay.
know if it's still growing.
Oh, yes.
It's
I,
still
I,
it's
well, this
still
was
growing.
yesterday. I took this yesterday and this morning, but it's very early here. Um, I did record a little bit more, but I haven't been able to upload it. It's not much bigger. but it is there, and I will keep recording it because that's my journal, is keeping pictures and videos if I can.
I would say, Libby, that it's just beautiful.
Oh, Mark, is your guy still alive?
Well, I have you know me. I'm a production person. I'm not. Yeah, I'm the man. I'm the male, and you're the female.
Yes, this is true.
So you've
But you,
nurtured this, with loving care for the last year or so, and
oh, not
to
so loving
me,
care. That's the thing, though. I loved it. I carried it around and it was in a box, not for long, but this is what I realized. What are we doing if these things are all entities, or what am I doing? I'll just take it to myself. And some are visual and some are not. We must really love what we're working with to appreciate that this is creation unfolding. It's like, ooh, okay.
I believe it's just a way to that this portion of our endeavor for us to say, for that side of it to say hello to us.
Cool. Well, thanks, Mark, because um, knowing that you had also that something similar had manifested for you, um, helped me continue with just checking it out and saying, okay, well, what are you?
I'm sorry, Libby, but I'm a little bit more rough, and when you see my presentation, you might be a little bit mad at me.
Oh no. Okay, well, I'll stop mine so you can start.
No, you shouldn't, because you feel the feeling, and the feeling is good, and that's what you brought to this whole, and that your mother feeling, which helps me because I'm a man. The man feeling is totally different than the female feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm a little rough around the edges. You're a little bit more soft, and you caress and cuddle. And between the two of us, we created two different forms, but forms of the same creation.
Isn't that amazing? That's why I was so excited when I saw yours. I was like, wow, okay, good. Okay, well,
We have done an excellent job, and we haven't even uh, been together. Been together.
the collective field. That's the thing.
Yes.
We're in this collective field together, and we are. See how that's shaking in there, guys? It is just a shaking. I don't understand what's making it shake.
This light that's on here, is that coming from the environment or coming from the camera?
No, that's the light that's coming through. That's from the environment on the right-hand side. And you see it's bouncing off there too. I'm showing my finger, but that doesn't help you hear it. You see that same light is bouncing off it.
Yes, it's bouncing off the top of the bottle. Okay.
But it really, there's this movement. It's like little pulses that come from there. That's amazing to me. What is that pulse? But maybe, as you say, it's the light reflecting off.
No, it's just, if you see movement there, there's probably a field reaction.
What you need to do is to get a tripod and set it up so you get a good still picture there, and then try to record some movement that you see.
Okay.
And you also have to question the vibrations of what it's sitting on. This do I step on the floor? Does it vibrate the table? If a car goes by, does it vibrate the table? And things like this. There's parts of the environment you have to be careful. You have to be aware of as well.
Yeah. No, that part I did check out, and there was like I can just sit here, and I can see that bubble moving. And I'm let's see, I'm in a very small space. It's an 8 by, if I'm lucky, 10 room. But where I am, if I look at it, I can see that bubble moving, and nothing else is happening. It's 3:50 in the morning here, so there's not any traffic, and I'm in the back room anyways. Yeah.
I can see that light down there pulsating a little bit from your camera, but I can't tell if that's an anomaly or not.
Yeah. Oh, well, I will continue, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, guys, but and women, I know there's other women out here, but I am so grateful to have at least somewhere to discuss this with. Thank you.
Anytime, Libby, you're certainly
Okay,
welcome here, and we welcome your input, which is always interesting. Good
okay,
stuff. Yep, so keep a sharp eye on that thing and let us know how it's doing,
I will.
especially if
And
it has babies.
well, yeah, I just don't know if that isn't already a part of it, that other part, because it was bigger last August, much
Ah,
bigger. But the
I see.
container was bigger too. So anyway,
I think the monumental task that you have taken was the holding on to that creation for the last year and a half.
well, it's not
After
even.
everything you've been through, not having a home and not having a wayward position in condition that you've had to make your way, and you've kept this thing alive and kept this, is a tribute to you.
Turn the.
Thank you, Libby.
Oh no, thank you guys. You're like a family to me, and
No, we are a family.
thank you. We are indeed. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how to get me not showing up as a black screen here, but um, uh, thank you guys. Okay, thank you. There we go. Nice to see you again, Rick. Okay.
All right, thank you very much, Libby. And who else would like to bring up, or is there any questions about that? Any other comments? Okay, let's carry on. Um, Mark, did you want to show something there? You're just getting going, so you might as well continue. You had a hard time. You had a hard time getting into the Zoom. I see from the live stream. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a new setting that's has to be undone. To put attendee in waiting room. So some people were in the waiting room for a few minutes before I saw them. I had to promote them to a participant. So I just had to uncheck that so that people automatically come in.
I was so
Some
scared you banned me.
Oh no, never ban you, Mark. Jeez. But that's always the thought that comes up, I
It's a
suppose.
very
I
scary.
can't get into my room, you know.
I can't get
Yeah,
my.
it's scary, all right.
So
Anyway, you're
anyway,
certainly
yeah.
welcome.
Thank
Okay.
you, Rick. Hi,
Um,
Keith.
Hey, hey, Mark.
How are ya?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I work hard these days, so physically beat up, but emotionally I'm good. I'm good.
You need some shea and cocoa butter with infused.
Okay, yeah, right on. I'll get the advice.
Mark's been
That's
working
right.
hard too.
Shea and cocoa
You
butter.
said last week you put up 70 sheets of drywall, him and a couple other guys on a team in one day, was it, Mark? I think.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, that's really pounding it. I think you did all the sheetrock screwing, right?
Yes, sir.
Holy
So that's a
moly.
lot of screws.
That's a whole
Zing,
lot,
a
yeah.
zing, a zing, a zing.
And
Yeah,
I'm a painter. If you just think about what you just did, Rick, with your right arm, I paint with my right arm, so it's above my head because I have to cut a lot of things in above my head. Like a room, you have to cut it in, so your arm has to be elevated above your head.
sure.
So yes, thank you. So you can just imagine that I've had to have my arm elevated above my head for the last 35 years, like Da Vinci.
Well, you're part way to levitating already. You just
No,
need to
no,
get the rest of it to go up.
no. There's more to that. There's a lot more to that than this. And that I made this infusion with shea and cocoa butter with CUO, or no, I'm sorry,
CO2.
CO2.
CO2. Yes, thank you, Guy. And just a touch of CUO, so that it would, because I found that the first couple of batches that I made started to get a little bit of like the patches, they get a little bit of because it's water. You're infusing water and um, oil together, and if you don't, the two don't mesh. So if you don't get the right combination, you'll get a little bit of black mold or mold. You'll
Oh,
get
I
mold,
see. Mm-hmm.
like a
Right.
black patch mold. So I learned that if you put a little CUO or CUO in it, it eliminates that. And I should probably do a tutorial on that because, like I said a couple of weeks ago, with the butter, the shea and cocoa butter, when you place that on your skin, like a lot of people we're doing the soap, but the soap, once you dry yourself off and dry off, it's gone. It's left you. With the
Right.
shea cocoa butter, it's on your skin. It stays there. It's a nice oil. The old mechanics in the old days used to spray WD-40 on their joints because they had to get it out of because it's penetrating oil. The
Yeah,
oils,
people used to use that for arthritis
Yeah, I
and the
heard that
wrists.
too. Seems
Seems
to
to
be
be.
a
absolutely.
nasty idea though.
Yeah, because it was
Yeah.
petroleum oil that actually
Yeah.
did the delivery.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Not,
all about how we deliver these things to our everything. When
right.
you deliver I'm a painter, so in the old days they used to say we had an abundance of oil, so they used to have oil paint. Everything was made with oil, and it's just a way to get the pigment of paint onto the wall, or the stain, or the um, whatever delivery system you use is is how you get that material onto the surface that you want to deliver that material. So when
Sure.
you say, what I'm saying, like the water, you want to rub. Some people say, "Well, I drink the CO2 water." Well, that goes internally, and then that's held internally. You know, so externally, like our muscles. So are you sure that everything internally goes to the external? I don't know. But with the shea and cocoa butter, at least it holds the CO2 right on the area that you actually need to repair. And like I said, I've held my arm up forever. And I've done this now for a few people and specifically made this for their areas. And I'm telling you, my mom is 91 years old, and she'll tell you the story. I'm going to have her do a tutorial on this small, but I'm going to tell you right now in this group because it's a great story. She's an old Canadian from way back from Leamington, Ontario, and as a small girl, she was running, and she skidded her knee, and she got gravel in it. Well, this is 1927 to 1930. Okay, they didn't have the greatest things to get yourself clean back then, and she always felt that she had something left in her knee that always bothered her all her life. So I said, I made this shea and cocoa butter. And through the whole process, it got black and blue, it got cleared up. But after all this time, I've been in this group for a year and a half. My mom now walks with no cane, and the spot that the gravel that she thought was in her knee came out through a black and blue spot, which I determined that the GANs of the CO2 water in the shea and cocoa butter after a year's time, it took a year, a good on and off through a year. Sometimes she would, sometimes she wouldn't. Oh, my knee hurts. Sometimes it would. Oh, mom, put it on. Oh, to the point now where the black and blue is gone. She doesn't walk with a cane. She goes up 13 steps of stairs. The people at the bingo hall tell her, "Oh, Shirley, you're walking wonderfully." And I'm going to have her come in this room She stays up till midnight. 91 years old, and she can stay up till like 12:30, 12:30. She starts to get tired. And I say, Mom, can you stay up another half hour, 45 minutes? Oh, I'm getting kind of tired. Hang on. So one of these nights, believe me, you will see my mom in this room.
I look forward to it. Oh, Mark, what a beautiful story. Sorry.
Yeah, it'll be great to get that testimonial from her
Live
mouth.
with all of us. So that would be a great thing. So now I have to move a little quicker because time is of the essence. And so you can see in front of us. I don't know, Rick, you want to pin me?
Yeah, let me get you up there. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. That's me. This is it's the end of the production run. So at the end of the production run, this is. I don't know what else to do with it. It is clear. I didn't have any. There's no GANs on the bottom. It was just 30 days of blue and CO2 and CuO and CH3. I don't know what to do with it. I couldn't wash it. There was nothing to wash about it.
There's no solid stuff in any of those?
Nothing.
Is that right? Hey?
No residue.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's just, but like CH3 is just,
Jeez.
It's oily.
You got amino acids on top?
Yes. It actually, you can see it, get up on these. All the containers are nano coated, so it's not like a regular coating where it can stick.
Mm-hmm.
So, but everything in them, everything I did was all the pHs stayed exactly the same. From day one, from 1.9 till 221. Actually, I went a little long because I had some silver that I did, in the other one. So, so it went like 40 days actually, and it's clean and clear, and so I don't understand it. So I just kept it. I put them all in jugs, and that's what I got after 40 days.
Right. So just to be clear, these have Epsom salt and what was it? Potassium glutamate, I think it was, as part of your salt solution.
So they were made with the ratio that I made it with was we were all in compliance, the 10-to-1 or whatever, but it was made with magnesium sulfate and potassium glutamate.
Right.
In all.
And no sea salt is the point there. Yep.
No sea salt.
So it still has the magnesium and potassium in it. You haven't washed it with distilled water, diluted it in any way, right? Still just the same?
Well, as I made it, I kept on adding distilled water in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first day, the very first week when I first started making it, you said, "Oh, don't put no more because that'll change the process of how much stuff." Because I made a container of the exact same stuff, and you said, "Don't put that in because."
Well, don't add extra salt water to your water when it goes down, because that will increase the total salt content. Because when the water goes down, that means the salt is concentrating in the water that's left. And if you just top it up with distilled water, it'll get back to its original concentration. Unless some has crawled up the side of the container and jumped outside onto the table or something. Sometimes that kind of thing can happen too.
It almost could have, the way it was starting out this way. So yes, so that's the way it was. This run was produced, and I still, like from last week when I when Armin came in, we were talking about it, and he had some other ideas, but I still wanted to keep this the way it was.
Yeah, I think that was a good idea because then you're not introducing other conditions and so on, other particles, other substances, which was kind of that was the experiment I wanted to see because this is what I wanted to do, and now you've done it, and I can see what the results were, and I can try to replicate it myself in my own way and so on with the magnesium sulfate, the Epsom salts, which is important to see what happens in that context. Now, maybe it would be, if it was more concentrated, maybe you would get some sort of GANs, or maybe there's a different way to do it with the magnesium sulfate that it might produce a GANs. I'm not sure. But, maybe if you put in all the 12 elements that Armin was talking about, maybe it would produce something interesting. But now you've established the baseline, which is really what we needed to see here. So that's important.
Well, I thought that that's what we were trying to establish. And,
Yeah.
maybe 6 months ago, we tried to establish pH. We thought that that was important, and I still continue to take the pH level in everything I do.
Yeah, why don't you just go over the pHs there so we know? Now you said they stay the same. You mean within each container the pH stayed the same, but the pH was actually quite different in each container, right? From container to container.
Oh, we may have lost his microphone, I think.
Can't hear you. Mark! Hello. Uh-oh.
Oh,
I think we just lost everything.
that is a little more serious.
Yeah.
What
Again.
Lesson plans throughout the
I
last.
lost. Sorry, I lost the transmission there actually, and
Are we back?
see
Are you back?
live streams attempting to reconnect, and hopefully it will. Just give it a minute here.
Yeah, just did, no?
We heard it here on Zoom.
Yeah, it's attempting to reconnect on the live stream. It's still having a hard time. It might reconnect. I don't want to have to stop the recording if I can. Come on, you can do it. Ah, there we go. It's, yeah, I think the live stream's kicking in there. All right, so I think we're back in action. So just back up to
The pH?
yeah, we were talking about the pH from bottle to bottle, and I think you were saying the pH was consistent within each bottle, but not from. It was different from bottle to bottle.
Well, when I do these different runs, I try to actually take a reading. The first week, it's all off the chart. When I first started doing these things, I'm into like my fourth or fifth production run of the different Ganses. But the first week, the metals, the salts, and everything give you a false reading. But by the second or third week, you start to get a true reading. And I only keep these experiments going for 30 days because we're trying to move a little bit quicker and trying to learn a little bit. And I'm trying to write down things as much as I can and measure things. And if I do need to go back to have a tutorial to find out exactly how much salt Epsom salt that I put in, I have that. So I write things down. I date things. I put the date on things just so that we have. I'm not a scientist. I'm a painter. This is just fun for me. So anyway, what you're looking at right now is just magnesium and potassium. It was just a fun run that Mr. Keshe told us to try different things. And like I said, this is Epsom salt. Just you can go to the drugstore, any store, and get magnesium sulfate, and any health food store you can get potassium glutamate. It's the potassium glutamate is just it's a derivative that you can get at the health food store. It's compatible with the body. There's no inert reaction to the body. You can take it in measurable forms and it won't hurt you. So that's the reason why I use the potassium, and the measurements were compatible to the to our the way we try to the 10-to-1 or so my containers that I make them in are 3 quarts, but it came out to where I put a cup and a half, or cup and a 1.2 cups of Epsom salt, and if you did the numbers, the potassium are 10-to-1, and that would take you to 5 tablespoons of potassium to get you to this. But anyway, those are just the finite numbers. But the whole thing was, a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Keshe talked about clear blue solutions that were translucent. So this was just odd to me that all the this whole 40-day, usually I do it in 30 days, but I had a couple other things hang on, so I just let it go for 40 days. And it didn't make a difference. Everything is still clear and translucent. The numbers stayed the same, and this is what it is. There's nothing, like some of these Ganses, all the Ganses have heavy materials in it. Oh, there we go. And like this is C3 and CuO, and down here are all my CO2s.
Well, Mark, what happened to your little fuzzy friend that was inside your blue container there?
Well, I hate to say it, Rick, but I had to move on. But not really.
It sounds like a sad tale for Fuzzy.
Dun.
Poor
But
little Fuzzy.
Hung on, and Fuzzy. So anyway, down here, like I said before, I never like to just take my all the materials that I made things with and just put them in something and just put them to the side. So usually what I do is all 3 of the things that you saw up top here, including I have the iron ore and the iron copper in here. Everything that was up here except for the silver. I didn't want to put the silver in here. But all the other, like nano-coated zinc, non-nano-coated zinc, copper, non-nano-coated copper, iron, non-nano-coated iron, all in a container with CO2.
Are you saying that's the resting place of Fuzzy now?
Yes, Fuzzy's here.
Oh, is he rather disassociated now? He probably doesn't look very fuzzy anymore.
Oh, come on now. I wasn't mean to Fuzzy, and I still left him in a nice environment. So now,
okay,
really,
we're just concerned that you're not, this is a be kind to Fuzzy situation
well, I
here.
put Fuzzy in a nice, happy CO2 environment.
I'm sure he's happy with all his CO2 friends and other GANS friends around, and so much tender loving care and so on there.
So I say to myself, with the tender loving care that you're talking about, Oh, let me get my leg around here. Yeah. You gotta go a little bit higher here. So just did this. Okay, there we go. Whoop. You like to work on the fly. We love working on the fly.
Yep, that's the name of the game here. Seat of the Pants production.
Okay. So
Okay.
don't want to touch it. See if I can get fuzzy.
I see some fuzziness on the coil there, yeah. Just a little coating, a thin coating, like, eh?
Right here up front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is that what you mean?
Yes. So let's talk about that for a minute. So if you see on the front part here, it's a nano coated tube. On the back side here, it's a zinc plate, non-nano coated. It's in CO2. So once I put all these materials together, all of a sudden these guys are all happy and they're starting to make GANs together. And I just broke this down maybe 4 or 5 hours ago. And look at all the GANs that's on the nanotube.
That's just regular GANs, though. That's not fuzzy, right?
I
That's
don't
not
know.
the original fuzzy. It is looking pretty fuzzy, but it's
looking pretty fuzzy.
but
Fuzzy wins.
so
It's only on
is
one.
fuzzy all kind of dissolved in there now? That fuzzy thing you had before, is it in there and just you can't
Fuzzy.
really see it?
I don't know if I can.
You see that white spot there on the other one?
Oh, that white spot there. Oh yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right, Guy. I thought
That's
that was
fuzzy with
something
a new
else.
haircut.
Yeah, I thought it was just.
It was as big and as floppy as it was as big as almost as big as a quarter.
Okay.
But do you see how it is? I don't know if you can't really see, but it's sort of laying against where the hook was that held it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it reemerges itself from this environment. Hey, fuzzy wins.
All right. Well, we'll have to have the week by week play of this action as.
Yeah, it's just like I said. This is what I do with every. Once I break everything down, I like to put it back in a CO2 environment just to wash everything. But the most important thing was you really seen. As soon as you seen it, it was like, oh, wait a minute, what's that going on there? And there's no wire, there's no air, there's no this is just water. This is just CO2 water and all the parts that came out of everything. And you noticed it. Look at the GANs that's being produced on that nano coat. Not the other one over here where Fuzzy was, but the one that's close to the zinc plate. And the zinc plate is a nano coated zinc plate. And this is a nano coated copper pipe. Without any air, water, electricity, load, or anything. Look at the GANs.
And no salt as well, right? There's no salt
No
in there.
salt, zero salt. This has been, because this was in my containers that we seen up top, right? You know what I'm saying? So this was this pipe here was in container number 2 that did not have fuzzy on it, and so fuzzy which is just like a small jump away, is not drawing from it. You know what I'm saying? So that nano coated pipe that's over here is not drawing, is not making the connection. Where this one here is making the connection between the nano coated pipe and the zinc plate for no reason. Nothing. There's CO2 in there, and there should not be action there. There shouldn't be nothing there.
Yeah, you
Is
wouldn't
that
think
correct?
so. Well,
You wouldn't
generally.
think so,
But
but because
sometimes,
this was absolutely a clear, this was just as clean and as clear as this one over here. There was nothing on this pipe at all when I put it in here.
yeah. And is there anything underneath the container at where the pipe is there?
Well, I mean, I stacked all the other elements. I mean, like there's a raw.
Oh yeah.
That's what's underneath it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's significant. That could definitely start to cause more of a gradient in voltage there, a gradient in pressure.
How? There's nothing. There's nothing can.
Well, the copper and copper oxide, there's a voltage gradient between them. So just being in contact would be enough to start a little bit of a voltage, and then you have your other one beside it. And the GANS water of CO2 might be enough to initiate it. It's plasma water after all. But that's interesting. It'd be good to see how much actually comes out of it, and if it seems like CO2 GANs or what.
Or what he
Or
says.
what? Some other unknown.
And he says or what. So anyway, my last little portion of this, and because Armin gave us gave me an assignment last week. That's why I kind of blanked out and had to leave, because I had a moment of truth, you might say. And when Armin comes on, he makes us really think, right? So,
Well, yeah, I think you sat in your triangle structure there, and you appear to be pondering pretty heavily there.
because he was really, he really wanted to hit home how much the 12 salts would be so very important to us.
Right.
So I thought that's what he kept on thinking. I kept thinking to myself, what does he mean by these? We don't. Now I went from the magnesium to the to the sea salts. I says to myself, well, he knows more than us, so I have to go and investigate this. And my mind took me to another level. So there it is. I hope that's what he's talking about.
12 salts.
Let me take it down a little bit here.
Well, it's a good find, it seems. I think you have to back out a little bit there to get
Bioplasma.
it to focus. There we go. Beautiful.
That's the 12 salts a man.
Is that what he was talking about?
Yeah, that's the stuff that is homeopathic, that has all the 12 salts, yes.
So my question to the group is, now that I've discovered what he was talking about, because I'm ready to start my next run, how potent, and should I use it in small amounts or large amounts? And that was the part, he he sent the dogs out to find the task. So I hope this is the one he wanted. I hope this is the one. And trying to do this for posterity sake, so that if Armin does get a chance to take a look at this in a further, just to make sure that everything that's in here is what he is required, so that I get the correct GANs.
Yep, perfect.
You can crush it and put it in your salt water, or when you nano coating either.
It's the ghost of
Hello,
Armin coming
Armin.
through.
Hi, Armin.
Hello.
Did I do good?
Yeah, that's the one.
Thank you. So I'm ready to start my next production with some zinc plates and copper. And, you know, I make my stuff in a large container. So should I make it in a smaller container? And how many of these and how much should I use? Could you just kind of reflect?
Just crush it. Just crush it.
How many? How many?
Just crush it. Let's say if you want to go by grams, you have to add not that much. Let's say if per liter you're adding salt of, let's say, 25 to 30 grams. So add 20 grams of salt, 5 grams or 10 grams of this one.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Per liter. So then you know.
And Mark, you're going to use regular salt on this round, or are you going to use the magnesium?
No, you can
sulfate?
mix it that with regular salt, or when you're doing caustic nano coating process, you can use it with the caustic.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing it before with the Epsom salts for the last round. So, are you going to use this with Epsom salts or with the sea salt?
It already have magnesium inside, if you look at it.
Yes. So what I was going to do was, I was going to this round I was going to do it in a little bit smaller containers. Let's see. These containers here are I already nano coated them. They're, let's see, they are 3 cups. My standard container. So I figured with like Armin said, so this would be 3 cups is 750 milligrams. So if I think it would work out to, or it would be probably let's see. I think it's 6 tablets per cup. So 6 I'm sorry. 4. That's it. Maximum of 6 tablets. So each tablet contains. This thing doesn't give you a maximum per tablet. That's the problem.
That doesn't matter. What if you weight it like about 10 grams, add it with the salt of 20 grams. So this is for your 1 liter, liter and a half. It depends how you want to make the salinity stronger or weaker.
So with these, I can do either one, right? The more I put, the stronger the pH. The less I put, the less the pH. Is that how I should think about it?
No, if you're creating GANs or nano coating, you can use a little bit to add it to your nano coating, and then you can add it with creation of your GANs. But you can add different materials, not only zinc. Here, if you have, let's say, bigger box, you can hang like this like this, like this, like different way hang it. Zinc, iron, copper, magnesium, zinc here. And if you can find zinc, magnesium, iron, we have it. Okay, what else we are missing? And calcium, if you can put. Just hang several plates. Don't hang one, and all connect series. And close the loop.
Should I put a load on that loop?
Yeah, plus and minus.
With just a small LED.
No, you can put a little bit voltage and amperage, like 0. Maybe 2-3 amps. 0.02. I'm sorry. Just little energy. And close the loop. Let's say if you connect it from here plus, so here it comes your minus.
So each plate, if I connect each plate with a plus and minus at a different point, that'll give me different GANs.
No, here, if just this plate connect with this one here, I will do different color that you understand. If this plate connect this one, this plate connect here, 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 and you connect, close the loop.
With just a small nano coated.
Yeah, small nano coated plates. All you do nano coated.
Right, but with a nano coated wire,
yeah,
completing the circuit.
Yeah. Try different. This is different. This you have here iron, you have copper, you have magnesium, you have zinc. If you can find some bones, you can create a calcium and put the calcium GANs inside.
What would be the in what material would I find magnesium in?
You can buy a plate. Magnesium plates. Nano.
You can get magnesium rods too. Sometimes they use them inside of heaters, like an electric hot water heater as a.
Yeah, and don't forget, put carbon too.
Oh, is it like an anoid? Or that rod goes? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you can have, you can find graphite. Put graphite over here too.
It's a graphite plate or a graphite
rod, plate, whatever.
Whichever. And that's a GAN soup that you're making there.
Yeah, and see what you're gonna get with the amino acid on top of it.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, Armin. So everything that you've just explained there in that container, I just put into the container that I just showed. So all I have to do is just add a little bit of power to it, and I think I could achieve what you just drew out.
You'd have to connect them too, right? With
yes.
like in a row as opposed to just touching.
And nano coat all the materials what you have. Right. Magnesium, you cannot dip it in a dip casting nano coating, not even zinc. Just nano coated vapor nano coating.
but this would be in a liquid form, so it would be in to make GANs like you're just explaining. All I would really have to do is connect them with a. Well, wouldn't the CO2 water connect all of them together?
Yeah, you connect all of them together. You create everything. Every single plate is interacting with the plate in front of it. So they all interact. So you make a combo.
I did do that.
Yeah, but he's saying to have it in a salt water condition with the 12 the 12 salts
Oh, I
as
see.
well.
So okay, so
And
my,
each of these components is in a circle or in a series connection connected by a nano-coated wire in between. So that'd be different than using the fluid as the connector. You were mentioning using the CO2 water as the connecting.
yeah,
No, you don't use. You just use clean water and mix your salts.
like the still you want me so these all those would be after I'm done making.
Okay. No more questions?
Anyone have a question? Now's the chance. Hang on, hang on. Trying to see if anyone wants to venture a question. Nope.
What are you going to use that composite GANs for?
Well,
as Mr. Keshe explained, this is nearest for human body to use it for human. You have everything in there. You have zinc, you have magnesium, you have, just imagine a combination of the salts that you have in there.
So Armin, could I ask you what the have you ever seen GANs that was translucent like this?
No. What is that?
It's the magnesium potassium glutamate.
Magnesium and what?
Potassium glutamate.
No.
Well, it's Epsom salt and potassium, and the glutamate comes from that when you buy it from the health food store, they say it's the most compatible with the body.
Sorry, I don't know nothing about that.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you remember that Mr. Keshe just told us to try to experiment with this, and he a couple of weeks ago there was a gentleman in Australia that made some with some other things that. So we talked about it last week, and he was a little bit more interested in the blue translucent. Said there was some sort of monoatomic value to it. Whether there is or isn't, I made it. It's here, and I don't know if it's worth any value or not. But at least I made it for 40 days, and I can tell anybody how to make it, and this was the end results. It's as clear. There's no gants on the bottom. It's just it made these colors out of the materials that we've been working with all this time. Okay, so moving on. Anyway, that's
Good.
that's
Thank you, Mark.
that's all I got. Thank you.
Perfect. That's a good report. That's something we appreciate.
Yep.
Okay, moving along, as Mark said, to.
I wonder if I can ask a question.
Okay,
Could I
sure.
put those tissue salts in my little container? Maybe I should be working on replicating humans with the right conditions rather than my little plasma pup.
Well, maybe
Um,
your plasma pup would like to have those same tissue
tissue salts.
salts. Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be interesting? So cool. Thank you. There's a little inspiration there. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Armin. Oops.
And maybe even might be inspiration for Zane, the plasma head there, that perhaps tissue salts might be a good way that he could connect more. Maybe that could be the pulse that he needs in his system to make it work. Just an idea.
It is. And I also found the pictures from August. So if you guys want to see him, just to see Plasma Pup when he was bigger.
Sure, if you want to do that, it'd be great right now.
Okay, perfect. Let me see if I can get it up properly before I do it.
Yep. And the idea there, just so folks know, is to open the window first, and then when you click on share screen in the Zoom, it opens up to a picture like this. Perfect. Thank you.
We lost her.
We're not hearing your audio, Libby. I'm not sure. Oh, your microphone's not. It's turned off. I'll unmute you. Maybe we can hear you then.
Oh, good. Can you
There
hear
you
me
go.
now?
Yeah,
Oh,
I can hear you now. We
yeah.
couldn't hear you before. So is
Again.
that large thing we see
Yes. Yes.
curled up there? Like, okay.
This amoeba looking like creature um, appeared, and I shook it up, and I think I've got 3 shots. Oops. This was my environment when he was being made. Um, and so that's the other one. I
Was there
don't.
a top on the container? What kind of?
Yes, there was plastic wrap.
Oh,
Plastic wrap with holes pierced in the top so that no critters or whatever could get inside. I'm sure something did because this is what's in there. Included in there, I think, are the 3 shells, the 3 periwinkles, and then these ping pong balls have a mixture of all the, I think at that point I was working with 3, maybe 4, what I thought were ganses, CO2, CuO, and CH3. Predominantly CH3. At some point I was really easy for me to make CH3. And a little bit of I think my skin went into it because I had been inspired by Dr. Gattuo's work, trying to see if this could move. And yeah, oops, oops, that's none of that. But anyways, this was the environment this was made in. There it is again. Um, and that's what appeared, that little critter. See, there's the plastic wrap. There's the one hanging above it. And and some kind of life form was created. Okay, you don't need to stop
wow.
it. I'll go back to it again, just to remind us what we saw earlier. Oops, I'm not going, am I going the right way? This was bigger than what I have now, but split up. I shook that thing, stirred it around, and I didn't know that would happen, but it just kind of disintegrated back into the water and came back. So yeah, Plasma
Wow.
Pup was born then and is now what I showed earlier. So, okay. And I checked my lights. I did take some pictures and some video, but I haven't uploaded it yet to see whether it was just my hands shaking, but it wasn't because I took some video of another glass that's got all kinds of GANs in it. And I'm discovering this, what I want to tell people is play with what you've made. It's really our emotions and our attention as we're learning to jump in. I mean, it was shocking for me to think that, okay, this is creation. And now when I hear the new knowledge, we're creating a box of the universe. And what are we looking at? And this is that creation. It's that critter with many, many legs. And so, woo. And so it's quite a wake up call for me. And
You're a mama.
I am a mama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I've lost my screen. I don't know how to get out where I am. This is the hard part. Once you start sharing screen, finding the actual Zoom room again.
Yeah,
Does
you
anybody?
might find it at the very top of your
Ah, yeah,
thing there.
yeah.
There's
Okay. You
you
can
can
stop share. Oh,
maybe you
stop
can
share. There we
exit.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
So
Yeah, I'll
I
put
just
on
want
the
to.
video here just to get a picture. So you must have a picture. That is rule number one here for the Zoom. Otherwise, it has a big black screen, which is not so cool.
So if Armin is still here, Armin, would you think it's a good idea for me to put tissue salts in there? Like, am I going down the wrong? Anybody got feedback from me as to how I create my fuzzy friend or how I interact?
I'm not hearing from Armin there. I don't know if he's on the microphone or not.
It's okay. I was just hoping that I would have input.
Th- This
Yes,
is Denny.
yes, thank you, Danny.
So, Libby, I would start with a small amount. If you decide to do it in very small increments. You don't want to dissolve your creature there,
No, I
and
don't. I really don't.
and you may want to rub its belly just to see if it'll roll over.
Well, I thought about the fact that it was giving me so many legs that maybe if I gave it something to crawl on, it would. I did think about that. And talk about making peace with all things. Okay.
Or teach it how to swim. Having
Well,
so
it
many
seems to know how
legs,
to
it
do
might
that.
be a swimming creature.
Yeah.
Um,
So give it a bigger, maybe I need to buy an aquarium. Who knows? I don't know, but it's quite the fascination. And is it?
Uh, so put your CH3 GANs jar on another side and see if it will move toward that.
Yes. Okay. I did actually move it from the one side to the other, and it did seem to follow it, but I didn't record it. So now I know I haven't moved it since it's been recorded. So now I
that would
will.
be a good time lapse to do if you had
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
time lapse setting set up.
This is my phone camera. So
Well, actually, the new iPhones have that. They've
this
got
isn't the new
a.
one.
Yours isn't.
No.
There's a slow mo and time lapse feature. See, time lapse.
Wow.
And when you push that, it just takes pictures every so often, and then you can set up your camera to take a picture of a flower blooming through the day or something like that, and you would see the progression.
Oh, now I know how to make a wish that's for me. Yay! I get one of those.
And while we're on the subject, there's also a slow mo setting now as well on the iPhones. Slow
Mm.
mo. And it's not for someone called Mo who's slow, but it's for slow motion. And that way, when you hit that button, I think it takes what is it, a couple hundred frames per second, or maybe 120 or quite a few frames per second more than usual. And then when you play it back, you can play it like a normal video, which is 30 frames per second, but it appears slow, in slow motion. So if you're doing a rotating structure, I was thinking I'd set it up for some of the rotating experiments and to be able to capture frame by frame some of the changes that are going on, so you can see more of the detail in the picture that way. So people can keep that in mind, that iPhones take really good videos and time-lapse, slow-mo, and I think they have other specialties as well. Those are two that can be used for experiments.
So Liv,
Going to change the lighting too. Like I only started recording it late afternoon yesterday. So during the day I get sun coming in from the other direction, and I'll record that too to see if that changes it. Because I can see the vibration, it's just catching it. And I really want to make sure it's just not the light playing on it, but really revealing that there's a vibration happening between those two.
Yeah. And if you can get a tripod or something or some solid surface to set the camera on, that's a big advantage.
use a small grain, and I think you're using distilled water.
Yes.
Use a small grain, and I don't know how much distilled water you'd want to put in, but I would start out with a small amount, and of course you're going to ask, but and then as it seems to thrive, you may increase, you may increase the amount.
I just had the idea of maybe I could put it on top of the CH3 bottle, just a bottle, and see if that would be an energizer receiver thing.
That's right. See, that's what you mean about the questions.
The fields, right?
Yeah.
We're dealing with fields. And does it actually have to go in it, or can it just go around it?
Right. So if you can make a solution that would stick outside the bottle as well, and your CH3. So yeah, that's what I mean about the question. You have to ask. If you don't ask the right question, you'll never get the answer.
That's why I'm here. Thank you. But the group think is what I want to ponder this with, and then back into myself. Thank you. Oops, it sounds like we're alone. Oh,
I am here. I'm just busy trying to keep the live stream going.
It keeps kicking out, huh?
Yeah, I'm having issues there. I'm trying a lower resolution and see if that resolves it, so to speak. So, all right, let's carry on.
Ought to carry on. I'll let it go now and say thank you, everybody. Unless anybody wants more input from me, I will just keep a record. Thank you.
Well, definitely, there's some forces at work that are causing some disconnect with our live stream here. So, anyway.
I see that Armin disappeared.
Yep, Armin said goodnight and he's off. And maybe we should wrap things up here the way things are going. But I'm happy to show anything that anyone would like to present here. Anyone with anything in particular?
Hello, guys. How are you? It's Tom from.
Hi, Tom. How are you doing?
How are you going? Very well, thank you. Better weather in London now, and I get something. Actually, I get always two things, but the first thing, I mean, the idea is how to find a sort of detector from plasma fields. It's a kind of friendly detector, more like an educational tool, something like that. So and I get it concept, and concept is already on a test drive for the last few months. So we test this idea inside this big health stations, and work fantastic with people. This is something like a replacement, not exactly replacement. It's like a more alternative version through the health pans, especially inside a big system. I set up camera like always. All right, I think today gonna be better. Well, I just need a kind of angle to show the trick. All right. That's the maggraph. Doesn't matter. That's the that's the idea.
Let's see. Let me get you lined up here just a minute.
All right. Okay, we got it. So
there we are.
That's the idea. The idea comes from just normal copper ring. You just need a copper ring, normal one. This one is like 9 centimeters by 1 millimeter thickness, something like that. I mean, not heavy, something light, something comfortable to your hand with the size to make easy hold them. So that's actually those one is under construction. It's not ready yet, as you see. The layer isn't ready. It's only halfway. So the full ready looks like that. It's basically the black mirror. The idea is nano-coat them by a chemical method, caustic soda. Take ages because you need to actually nano-coat them, and after then polish them with a really fine sounding paper, some like a 1500, something like that. And the concept is prepare the mirror. The idea comes from John Dee, the alchemist here from London, and some artifacts from North America. They use actually polished stone. Is what's the name of the stone? I forgot now. Anyway, doesn't matter. We got copper, and after when you're gonna polish them, you need back again to the nano coating because probably you're gonna destroy all the angles. They need actually back to the nano coating process because it's not ready. I mean, it's disturbed a little bit because it's constantly using by people, constantly used inside the system. So I got some scratches, some things like that, and sometimes I need to put it back again to the nano coating process and repair them. So, but the idea is you need to actually create the best mirror how this is possible on a graphene. It's a very strange thing, and the graphene start behave completely, I mean, not completely different way, and this is my discovery. So discovery the different properties for the graphene a little bit different, and when you make the
where do you get the graphene from?
That's the caustic soda, just normal.
Normal you wouldn't get graphene. You'd have copper oxide.
Copper oxide. Sorry, the copper oxide because right. sorry. That's
because we can have graphene on copper, but it takes a special process with the plastic and so on, other bits in there. Okay, carry on. Just want to clarify.
All right, and after then you need to actually use another sounding paper. Much fun, like a 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, something like that. And after 7,000, you got almost perfect mirror. It's a little bit dirt. Sorry about that. It's not clean perfectly, but as you see, probably it's quite nice mirror. And so the concept is very basic because they come from Mr. Machran teachings, and the basic concept: every single finger is responsible for every single part of our brain. So even this one, we're just streaming the energy. So the concept, you need to hold them with all 5 fingers. So, and the first things you actually immediately feel all the magnetic gravitational pressure between. They behave basically same like magnets. You feel like a magnet in your hands. Not like a neodymium magnets, it's not that strong, but you feel all the attraction, and attraction work with your mind. If you like stretch the field, you just need to start thinking, and you feel how the field is pushed. If you like attract, you just need to feel them, and everything happened by feeling. So this is very basic educational tool. Is no question about field. That's when I do with the health station, when I got someone who get problem with feeling that for example, the person don't get any sensation, anything like that. It's basically like a wood. So the best option to heal the feeling, bring again the right feelings, the feel your energy, is bring the mirrors to the person. So after a few minutes inside the system, everyone not on it's not always on the first session or on the second session is they always happen. And even if someone gets huge blockade for feeling, and it's good fun because people just sitting inside the health unit and they get a lot of fun, like just flying across. They feel a energy bubble between, and there's no question about the energy they exist or do not exist, anything like that. You feel very strong way, I mean extremely strong way, because they work like a magnets, and you feel how they push energy across your hands, and you feel kind of, I don't know how to explain it, small electric shock or something like that. If you like to use like for example like a health band, for example, this is the idea. It's like a Röntgen, like a Mr. Lakowski. That was 100 years ago. Was device made by Georges Lakowski in France. So very similar idea. So that's the educational tool. That's what I do mostly when I get stucker. I just checking the fields. Normally I feel by hands. We are nothing, but this is fantastic tool. I mean, you immediately feel all the things, all the pressure, attraction or expansion, whatever, everything. And it's really nice. Costs a lot of work. To polish them is a heavy job, but I think it's absolutely worthy, and I never get any problems with with actually anyone who come to me and ask about the Keshe system, how they work. I gonna feel it or not? All this kind of crazy question. After a few seconds with this mirror, they completely died, and everyone is completely sold through this idea. So because no one gonna lie you. That's your own energy, and no one gonna tell you you don't feel it or something like that, because you feel it. That's your own experience, your private experience, your private field, and there's no question about that. So that's the perfect educational tool that saved me a lot of hours with many people to explain how the field work, what is the field, how is this technology, especially all the guys who come to me and I help them to build the magraphs and stuff like that. So it's always a bunch of questions, many questions, they work or not, all these things like come actually from kind of us mental instability, let's say. Don't take this nasty way. And and this those mirror actually solve all these problems. So I just need pass to your hands and leave you with a few seconds across the Magraph system, across the or inside a big health station, and leave you for a few minutes, like I say. And so after a few minutes, you're done. You got it. No question about that. So that's the for me, very important thing. And we test the mirror. I call them mirror of your soul. It's a quite dramatic name. Anyway, Obsidian. Oh yes, that was the original stone. This Maya Indian probably used the same idea. There's few alchemists in Europe used this idea 500 years ago. They actually used the stone. They polished the stone and used natural gases. That's my expectation. So, but this is my speculation. So, final solution. That's the mirrors of your soul. So that's the one thing, and another, the new idea for. So that's the new one. I already tested these new capacitors and they work fantastic. Guys, I think that's the best idea for capacitors one I got now, the most interesting ones. And the new idea for sun inside. I know you see. So I'm just keep the camera in this place. So I'm gonna draw this ball on the screen for you guys, how look inside and what actually happened, because the ball is made in a different way. It's actually completely dry and empty inside. It's only dry gases put it with this kind of special substance one I actually made from from resin, natural resin. That's what you need. 100% organic resins from trees. Anything you're gonna find many of them on eBay or whatever. And the next thing is beeswax. That's the two substances what we need, and that's what I do. Maybe I gonna be. Oops, sorry. I got limited space with this camera. I don't know how to hold correctly. Okay, and gonna be visible or not? Yeah, as you see, guys, inside is kind of this shiny something. This is mix made from resin and from beeswax. If you do surfing, this is the same beeswax like you do for your boards, yeah, like you're using for your board.
And by raisin, do you mean grape, like grape juice?
No, he means a resin,
no,
like pitch.
resin.
Oh,
Resin. Sorry,
resin,
guys.
resin.
That's my
I
strange accent.
gotcha.
Resin.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
if I get some problem with the name, just ask me once again.
So like a resin, is that a natural resin or
natural is the best one. This is that's basically natural plastic. That's what I do 100% natural plastic. As you see, I got 2 different mixes, so I call them, this is the medical one, that is the energy one. Anyway, I got a few different metal coins like that. So the idea is you need to mix them in a warm condition, you heat them, be carefully, don't do with a huge degree because it's a risky business. You're gonna burn all the stuff, don't burn them. I don't know, it's like 200 degrees. You need to check. You need just melt the wax together with the resin. It's not that's easy. You need to spend some time, just heat a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. You need to find the right way for yourself. Anyway, and after that, when you got all the mix inside, the substance is done, all the mix, you need to apply dry ganses, but the dry ganses, that's the very important. Very small amounts ganses. Your mix, I do a few different mixes. One is, as you see, I always got some numbers. This is number 1, is somewhere is number 2, number 3, and etc. etc. So those one is a copper, CO2, zinc, CH3, silver, no PB, no lead guns, and ayahuasca guns and stuff like that. Anyway, this is a perfect mix, and when you heat them, they behave like a wax, basically. And that's what I do. I show the basic example. This is the basic example in my paper. My backgrounds. I'm gonna be all right. And this is the first idea what I made. That was the on start. I just place. Sorry. I just place the substance. I call them shellac. This is the shellac because shellac is the original name for the same idea, for the same substance, but made by some insects in Africa, and not only. This is like a mix of wax and resin. So that was the first idea, and that was the first ball. They was fantastic. And one thing, you need to heat them and actually glue it together using the piece of really hot wire, and melt also plastic on the bottom. So and melt the plastic on the bottom together with this shellac, because if you're gonna leave it like that, if the shellac gonna be dry, they very easily come out. So you need to actually mesh them together on hot. Sorry, because I try to catch the camera. Okay, all right, you see. So that was the first idea, the basic idea. North and South Pole, let's say in and out for fields. That's the different combination of ganses. That's the different combination of ganses. But that was the first idea. Now, the modern is more advanced. The modern way, that's what I do now very often. This is my ball inside the stacker. As you probably see, this is the pure star formation reactor, double core reactor inside. This is the tiny wire inside. If you like, take them away. It's very easy. Take them away.
That's
If you
very.
like,
It's the first time I saw something like that. It's a smaller scale and
yeah, exactly. This is basically reactor in the smaller scale. I don't do normal average ball inside average sun. I just made a reactor basically like this rounded big reactors for years ago, and with a double with the Caroline core. So
yeah.
because that's actually for me fantastic idea. So that's the spots made it with the shellac. It looks like a space station, and very well. I like this design. So the space station, they got different guns on the bottom. Oh, that's the correct position. Oh, I don't know, they're gonna be visible. Sorry guys, I just messy with the camera. Let's maybe this way. Oops. Sorry. Sorry, wait, give me seconds. Stabilize all these things. All right. Yes, I'm here. All right. So I need the white background, temporary white backgrounds. So back into the ball. Okay, as you see, this is star formation on the bottom, and on the top, I got double core. This is the one. Let's do the double. If you like to connect the core with the MAGRAPH system, for example, with the plus or minus, whatever you like to do, feel free. And so if you like feed them with a few different ganses, all the core inside, feel free. There's a lot of space. It's already closed. And the one trick with the ball, because this is the story with the properties for all these polymers. So this particular polymer, it didn't work actually that's well. So the part of frequency plasma fields who come from outside, they stay inside and they can go outside back again. They can build the interaction outside because the nature of this polymer, they behave basically a little bit like a filter for a few fields. So, and sometimes we need these fields. So the good idea is use the natural polymer, which is this substance one I made, because if you're gonna check what is this, the natural resin and the beeswax, you actually create natural 100% organic plastic on this planet. That's what's do every single insects, and actually not only insects, the animals as body do these things. This is a normal thing. This is excuse me, gonna be a little bit nasty, but this is the piece of wax things. Oh, oh, it's still fine. All right. And okay, that's the trick. And the work amazing. If you're gonna hold in your hands, you just feel massive, just giant field from this ball. Also, kind of electric sparks on your on your hands, and work fantastic. When I replaced the normal average ball fitted with the ganses, with the liquid plasma through this one, I think I got just different MAGRAPH. The MAGRAPH is a monstrum now. It's just giant monstrum. It's not normal MAGRAPH. The field is giant, is massive, and everyone get actually go very everyone actually feel this feels very easy way. I don't need to ask people, you feel something or not, you feel some wind or hot or something like that. I understand. No. The only one thing what I need to do, I just sit down and leave the gentleman with the stacker for a few minutes. And
is the ball connected to the unit?
if you like connect, feel free. If you like connect by the first core and the second core, I will draw. You know, guys, I will switch off the camera and do some really basic sketch. I'm gonna clarify all these things. Sorry, I get too account. Sorry for that, because I
was just wondering if you're connected to the MAGRAPH unit. That's all.
All right. Okay, the whiteboard. I mean, it's nothing new. I'm just same idea like a Mr. Macron. Just prepare the reactor inside. That was
Great idea. I mean, you can even inject GANs inside it, and
I already got. That's when I show you. I already got gases inside. I show you a little bit more. Okay, let's start from the bottom. Okay. Oops, this is my ball. Let's see. This is the polymer ball. Let's draw this line across. This is the point when you put all the stuff together. So, because we actually use the polymer balls from this made by two spheres. So this is the one sphere on the top. This is the sphere on the bottom. So
I mean, with your setup, was it connected to the Magrav unit, or was it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I use this normally in the Magrav units. I was testing them already. That's the reason why I'm ready to show you all these things, because it's after all the tests, everything worked fantastic and
not criticize.
Anyway, let's back to the drawing. Let's put some focus to this. All right, that's my stacker basically. That's my ball, sorry, and then that's gonna be ball from the left, and that's gonna be ball from the top. Left, top. This is like a technical sketch. All right, from the left, that's what we build. What we need to build is basically star formation, like that, as points. So normally I use the different gases combination from the bottom. Okay, and this bottom situations looks like looks like something like that. And top situation looks like that. That's my top. That's my number one. That's my number one. So the number one got a different gases because I got core across the ball. I mean, if you like to check with the core, without the core, check the few different options. I already checked few different options. Normal thing when I do just normal pure star formation made by this combination of gases. So this is the first GANs, let's say, combination. All right.
What are you telling us?
And this one,
and
this one gonna be GANs combination, the second combination. So more heavy and light. So that's how we do combination between the all these reactors. If you like to replace them, for example, we use the different gases inside of every single spots, feel free. I mean, this is the open experimental area, so whatever you like to do it. So that's the if you're gonna check, this is the half of this ball. We're in the middle position. So the base stay on the middle position, like should be, and the stop point stay on the top position, like they should. And we got this fantastic star formation inside the ball. So if I'm gonna draw here, this is my star formation inside the ball. All right, and that's the basic concept. So we got the next concept is a core, the first core, and inside the first core,
how'd you make the cores?
Armand connection, piece of copper pipe, the tiny pipe, something like, I don't know, maybe 8 millimeters, something like that. You're gonna find on eBay plenty of this. I mean, many of solution. And if you like use the different materials, use the different materials. So I used the I was looking for kind of more elegant, simple solution, because not everyone is able to go to some store and looking for some specialized copper pipe with some special sizes and things like that. I got few like that. I will show you guys. But anyway, the most simple way is Armand connection. Just do the Armand connection with the size of your ball, and that's all. An Armand connection, if you're gonna use this typical way, so this is gonna be 1.6. So you got empty space inside. And this empty space, if you're gonna take wire, for example, a wire by 1 millimeter, so you got your inner core by this wire inside. If you don't need it, you don't need it. Okay, this is the connection. If you like, connect whatever you like, plus or minus. I'm gonna left you with this with these two. You know, if you must check by yourself. So every single stacker is a different idea. Everyone do it in different ways. So this is the experimental idea. I think everyone should do some experiments. I do some experiments also too. But the most important thing, that's the story with this polymer, because the polymer behave in a kind of strange way. Okay, all the frequencies go inside to the ball, because this is the heavy gravitational element. So they drag everything inside and made the spin. And part of this and create interactions. So the interaction go out as interactions. And some interactions are blocked by this this polymer layer. Some, not fortunately, is not that many, but we need full scale. So to get the full scale, I need this special substance. So the special substance work with the, that's why I do with plastic. Let's say this is my polymer sphere. This is my poly sphere. Okay, and I got this special substance when I made this melted substance. I call them shellac, but it's not correct name. I mean, I forget the name. The insects from Africa, from Asia, generate this substance. It's also perfect to mix it with the dry gases, because that's when I'm looking for the natural polymer, because the natural polymer didn't get this this problem with the different spectrum of plasma. Let's name it like this. And natural polymer push everything out. They're never gonna block anything inside. So I just need a piece of hot wire, and I hit them and do gap like that. And when I apply the shellac here, I do this with a hot condition, so everything melt around this point, and I actually using the small just copper wire, just hit them and try just match together in a hot condition. So the melt together of this layer with the plastic and let's call the shellac. So back to the main concept. So now part of this fields are back again. this is the ball with the, you see Armand connection inside? Just normal piece of wire. You need to cut them to the right size. And if you like connecting a different way, I got a few different solutions because, I mean, it's difficult to show because some of them already inside the magraphs are actually unable to actually take out now. So kind of very basic thing. You know, when you get a piece of wire, you just need to create core, create hole inside, and actually drag it, create something like that. So if you like apply the inner core, so it's a few different options. You just, if you like do this way, gonna be this way. So if you like a more advanced way, so I guess something like that inside the ball. Another solution. So you need to actually drill them through the right size. It's actually unconnected yet. So
you're just explaining in a way that it actually works for you so well. So
you basically got small reactor inside the
right,
magraph. So the magraph is
way to do it, but in the end, how would you feel about it? What is the outcome out of all this? Like how
fantastic. So if you're gonna do ball like that, even without no any core, just try do this. If you got time, of course, if you like it, try do the experiment. Just prepare ball like that for yourself. Use a different combination of ganses. Let's put the light here and more heavy here. Just do the two combination. You know, just create a spin between the fields. So one is weak, one is giving, other is taking. So that's all. One is acidic, other is let's say alkalic. You need to actually prepare the interaction between. Prepare the gases to build the interaction. So and try to do this ball, and after then just try holding your hand, and you're gonna feel it immediately. What's gonna happen? They actually so windy, so strong, and you get this kind of electric wind top of your hands, and really, really, how to say in English?
where from?
It's very easy to feel. I mean, very strong feelings. It's one word I forgot for now. And
Magnified, making it.
Anyway, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it very strong way without no any problems. And this is like a extra idea from the magraph.
Wonderful.
How keep all these gravitational things fields inside the magraph. So because that's how we create this.
What did you make out of that? Just this one ball, or have you put it some sort of?
No. I was telling you before. I was told you before. That was many balls. That was many experiments. It's one of them. Only one I show you. I already made few. I don't know, maybe 10, maybe something like that. Back to the magraphs, and we're just checking the magraphs now, and they work perfectly. The magraphs with this particularly balls got massive reduction, and this reduction electric consumption on your electric meter go extremely fast. So everyone is actually extremely happy because the time of adaptation when you got your magraph and you connect to your wires in your home to your electric grid, you're always looking for some nice way to do all this reduction for electric consumption. So this idea worked absolutely very well, worked fantastic, and I got kind of feeling they actually speed up all the processes, and also you feel much more better because of course the process, the reduction of your power consumption is heavily connected with the fields made by your magraph, your own fields. That's the PN junction around
telling us
magraph. So the PN junction is bigger.
Gained from these balls, or consumption that you have gained from the understanding of the making the balls, or
no, just normal magraph. When you got normal magraph, you just need normal using magraphs. You get normal you get your normal power consumption. So what do you do with your magraph? Use, for example, to make your bill smaller. So try this ball and check your bills after 2 months. And if you like it, of course, check the magraphs with the different ball, and check your builds, and you're gonna see what's gonna happen.
So you mean change the balls where you apply the magrav unit, and you
Not the change. I mean, remember about this condition. If you're gonna just make another one, just make another one, because remember, you need the build opposition through the on the opposition. You need build interaction between. That's what you got on your coils, and that's what you got inside your sun, inside your middle of your system. It's supposed to should be, you know, homogeneous system, same one system. So we remember about all these things, about all these interactions. So I got quite specific ganses because I got specific construction in my magrav. The ganses on the gravitational coils are different, on the magnetic coils are different. You know, every single floor is a little bit different, and also my combination of ganses inside the ball are a little bit different. So, but don't look to my combination, because they're gonna not, you know, this is not the solution. You don't gonna repeat it after me. It doesn't make any sense. The solution is use the different idea from the sun. So do not build typical sun fitted with normal just, you know, sticky ganses or something like that, but make something like that and try it, and you see what's gonna happen.
This is Denny. I want to get back to your mirrors, but not until somebody has finished questioning this. Lee Coates was probably going to do quite well with this, especially in his car unit, and especially with the shellac resin would get rid of. Would get rid of the what is that, soft hot melt glue?
Yeah. Look at that. This is the car magrav. You see, but this is the different version without core inside. But this is the star formation, as you see. One on the top. Oops. Give me a second.
Super beautiful construction. I love it.
Oh, thank you, sir. And 3 on the bottom. So pure star formation, as you see.
Oh, what about
and those gases inside? Well, you see this small dust and, you know, kind of dirt inside. That's actually PB. That's the lead. Sorry for shaking. I didn't get in the tripod. Maybe I will try like that. Gonna be all right. Oh, okay. Oh, perfect. All right. Thank you, camera. As you see, this the small dirt inside. This is 1 drop of solution, because I got, you know, my favorite solution. Really nice fields and all the stuff when I collect for last months and stuff. Everyone gets some favorite stuff. This is my favorite. So that was drop my favorite solution, and drop of liquid gas PB lead, because I needed the wet condition and the vapor condition for these heavy gases. So, and was 1 gas, probably silver and CO2, something like that. The PB, the lead actually I use the lead for a very specific reason. What we got inside the car everywhere. We got basically lead everywhere. Inside the gasoline, inside the oil, inside the engine, everywhere. This company is everywhere. So that's the main reason to use them through the, for example, car magrav, for sure. So that's the ball inside, and they fit perfectly. All right. Actually, it's very, very well.
So how many do you have? One coil? I mean, one magrav, one magrav disc. Oh, you got 2.
Yeah, I show you. No. This is only 1. They work fantastic. I mean, we're checking it with the big trucks, really big trucks.
It's 1, and then you have your capacitors.
No, it looks like capacitors, but not exactly. Okay, as you see, that's the coil. It's only 1 coil.
1 coil.
And the 2 batteries.
Okay.
With the titanium, that's the secret inside. The titanium. Not the aluminium, but the titanium. But instead of aluminium, I get guns of aluminium.
So you call that a titanium battery? Is it nothing to do with it? Have you
as you see from the bottom.
Do you have one? Do you have one that you can show us?
Yeah, wait a moment. Sure. Yes, sure. Actually, yes, I got it. It's under construction now. All right. Wait a moment. I need to stabilize camera to make something visible. All right. Sorry, because many small things. I need some.
Good and very neat work. I can see it there. Very nice. You're a very neat, very hardworking person. Obviously, it's all.
Okay. No, it's a lot of fun with this. It's not that hard.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of fun, mostly.
Expect you would say that.
All right, yeah, I got it. Okay, guys, I need to make some space, put the camera a little bit higher. Give me a second. Should be fine. Yeah, all right. Okay, that's the capacitor. As you see, this is the one part. That's what you got inside the car.
Okay. Where does that go into? Like the accumulator, the battery, or what?
Is I mean, whatever you like to do. I mean, if you like connect to your lighter, the switch like normally inside normal small cars, you just connect like a lighter.
Yes. Perfect.
Or if you like connect to accumulator, whatever you like. I mean, this always depends of you. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay. This is all stuff together. Maybe you guys are gonna do some drawing because I think gonna be much more clear on drawings than I will show something like a black nano-coated.
Well, it's good. It's good the way you did it, but your hand got in the way when you were showing it. And
yeah,
yes, the drawing would be great too.
This is very simple elements. As you see, everything is connected. I just try always minimalize all these things. Oh, don't touch it. Okay, yeah, that's all elements. Okay, I'm gonna do some drawing because it's probably.
Okay, yeah, you don't want to ruin your thing.
All right. I get some photography for how look the system, but I didn't remember where's now. It's bunch. I don't know. It's hundreds of maybe thousand photographies, and some days sit down and do some selection. I already lost.
What car do you have? What are you planning on to install it?
It's already this machine. I mean, you see another version, another machine, and if you already exists inside the big trucks, and they traveling across the Europe.
What is the engine capacity?
I don't know. It's like a big, for example, one of the truck is like a big Scania, the big one. I know that the car man. Sure. Something like when you put 200 gallons to one tank, something like that.
Of course,
quite big trucks. So and they work actually very well. Okay, let's back to capacitors. So this is my coil. In out. Okay, and the capacitors. All right, this is my in. This, of course, one of the versions is not probably the best solution or something like that. It's nothing to actually something special. I still work on a few different solutions. So, and this is my core. And the core is connected here. All right, and some colors to clarify everything. All right.
Very nice.
This is MAGRAPH. We know they work on a hot or cold line. That depends always on you. If you like to, how you like to connect. So that's mostly of this, and you got basically that's your in. That's your out through the system. So that's all. That's very simple connection. So, and this is the battery.
Where's the, yeah,
this is
that's the one.
batteries.
That's okay. Excuse me.
Mhm.
Where's the titanium? I mean, not time. Yeah.
That's the titanium sheet. Exactly. That's what you got here. I mean, if you like, use and check a few different things. It's a really interesting idea. I was done in probably three different car magraphs and one bigger magraph, different combination. Because okay, let's look from inside. This is the core. This is the ganses. This is the coil top of the core. This element. All right, and let's do, and this is the materials inside. So this is the nano-copper wire. It's gonna be black. All right, this is nano-coated, and that's gonna be my titanium. And if you like, check a few different materials. For example, the brass is quite interesting thing, really interesting. The extra sheet of brass, and after then I got my ganses. So whatever you like to do, I mean, it always depends on you. So the first is copper, Cu, that's nano-coated copper, and that's same thing. And C nano-coated. So
do you use any shellac or lacquer?
Yes. That's what I do with the papers on the capacitors. I don't use normal wet ganses. I just do the same idea like with the balls, but with the shellac. And I think the capacitors were much more, I mean, better. I think I got quite good feelings with these capacitors. For me, it was definitely better. I think maybe this is, huge overestimation or things like that. But I think they actually beat completely the typical one. The typical one didn't get any chance compared to this one. Seriously. I mean, it's huge difference. I mean, bigger field. And this, I don't know how to explain how bigger is the field, or this is only my overestimation, kind of placebo effect. I don't know, but
Yeah.
But everyone, because with my friends we do few tests with these capacitors, and I think it's not only my placebo effect. I think they really kick ass. I mean, it's probably the best idea when I find now. When I got for now. So back into the story. So we got the ganses on a paper with the shellac. And the next thing is whatever you like to do. That's the quite interesting thing. An extra, let's say, extra layer, and this extra layer gonna be, I don't know, if you like to zinc, which is very good, especially from kind of medical purpose and stuff like that. And that's the first layer. If you like mix with another layer, that's gonna be titanium. Titanium is main for me. It's like a base. And I'm just mixing titanium with some, yeah.
Okay.
I just mixing I like mix titanium. For me is the base, and if I like to mix with something, I like check with the zinc. Sometimes this is the copper, just tiny copper foil between the ganses and the titanium. So few different combination, they different materials, they will polarize the situation inside your batteries in a different way. Because remember, this is the batteries. All the stuff is a batteries, not typical capacitors. So signal come into the batteries. They start here, they push here, go to the magraph. Magraph is shaking, dancing, do the boogie, and I get the star formation inside the magraph. So if you like connect the core, so that's your core connection. That's your Caroline core. So if you like connect core this way, for example, I mean, it's thousands of options. If you like connect somewhere here, feel free. But I think on a draw you actually see the singularity between the solutions. Why we got field connected to this? Why MAGRAPH is connected to this? Because we always build opposition between the signal.
Have,
And
have you
yeah,
have you used it? Have you used this construction in any car? In
yeah,
any
yeah.
car?
Yeah. I was telling you, this is like a few working device for the last few months. I mean, we talking about working already tested things. Is not something on on a drawing board. This is something actually in a really working condition.
And this is what you use in your MagGrab unit as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And it's behaved very well. I mean, guys, I'm really happy with this stuff. Seriously, I think the shellac is like I don't know, it's like a revolutionary way to do this, to apply ganses through the sun on inside, and also the different idea to do the reactor, because we always call the sun, but what is the sun? The sun is a reactor, basically. And the story with the ganses, very important, because when you got, for example, all this heavy gas, for me the archetype for this most heavy gas, because I don't know, maybe I like it, this is the PB, it's like my own archetype. So I got PBO inside the sun. So also PBO is on the capacitors, but never on the coil.
Used to PBO. How have you?
Lead guns, the lead.
How did you do it? How have you?
Just normal piece of nano-coated copper, piece of lead, diode, sea salt, and time, which is the most important ingredient. And the time, I just need to leave them for 2-3 months, and that's all. I got nice.
What is the significance of time?
Depends on you. I mean, depends on your fields. I mean, I'm gonna set up the ganses, and for me, gonna be 2 weeks. I'm gonna left you with the same ganses in the same room, and that's gonna take 3 months, because you got something different inside your head. Or gonna be opposite situation. I will stay for 3 months looking for any single result, but gonna be some funny amount of ganses. Don't few pieces of dust on the bottom. That's all. But I'm gonna put some different person to the same room, the same environment, and after 24 hours, gonna be 5,000 kilograms of guns. Same thing. Always depends on us condition, on who we are inside us head. That's us soul, us fields. That's who we are basically. And I remember when I started to do all these ganses, they go slow, and now they go quite fast. So they already in a dynamic condition. I basically I'm unable to estimate or give you some kind of dating, timing, deadline for do any guns in your condition. I mean, you need to check by yourself. You need to prepare the box, do what Armand showed, or whatever, and just do it and wait and feel good and feel good. Like I say, James Brown, feel good.
Have you had anything sort of related to a spacecraft? These combinations and whether
I know you need to check. I got plenty of speculation when I'm able to use and take from this project, and for example, maybe gonna be helpful with this kind of spaceship project. I don't know. You need to check by yourself. I mean, I'm really sold through all this medical application. Seriously, I mean, the Starship for me is nice, fine, cool, extra, but seriously, the medical application for me is something serious. I was built the first big system. Now is another system. I was facing with the people who got with the terminal cancer. It's a different reality. I think I'm better with this stuff, and thinking about flying across the space for me when I see that's many pain in the people's eyes when they come to the system is basically a bit insane. I get my focus in a different place. My focus are people around me and the health of these people. I mean, I think this is the most important for now. And if some of those solutions they will work fantastic in one stage, they probably automatically they will work fantastic in other stage. For example, when you use them to build the spaceship. But for now, my main focus, my research come to the medical applications. So this way, what I do, for example, the car stackers, the small maggraph for cars, this way, because I've got a gentleman who had really nasty health problems, and they was professional drivers. So the solution was not actually do big saving on gasoline consumption, which was important too, but other probably much more important stage, that was the story with the health for this gentleman, because was you gonna kill yourself doing this job? It's not a good idea. So the main concept was how to prepare the field, how to build the field to make all this driver happy, healthy, and happy joy. And that's what the main issue in my case, of course, because everyone get different purpose, everyone get different case, everyone do something different. I think this is the beauty of this technology, because end of the day we will combine all the stuff together and build something like a spaceship.
All those informations that you explained to me, it really resonates with me in terms of my understanding of my spacecraft, or in relation to that technology. But you're saying that you're doing it with the health in terms of helping the health applications and
yeah. I'm not a doctor, but they basically.
That's crazy, isn't it?
This is favorite stuff. When you see the happy people,
good, isn't it? It's good. It's
back
wonderful.
to health.
Really,
yeah, this is always amazing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I understand it. I totally get it. And you're so passionate, and every word you say, you resonate with that. And even though I sometimes understand what things are, but this is the beauty of it, because I just don't have to. I need to listen to you more and more, so that I would resonate with you. And then if I wanted to help you, I would help you. If I don't, whatever, doesn't matter. But it all makes sense wonderfully. Thank you so much for your knowledge. It's just so wonderful.
Welcome. Welcome. Thank you, sir. And go and grab some raisin, grab some walks. Bee walks is the best one. And guys, try to do this. It's easy. It's really easy. And the best thing with the capacitors and batteries inside your magraphs, the most funky stuff, when you build them, they take like a 10, maybe 15 minutes, 1.5, something like that, maybe 10 minutes, and everything's absolutely dry. You don't need to wait for next 4, 5, 7 days to stabilize fields. This is like a completely different world. I mean, it's an amazing feeling when you actually connect them, when you got this kind of, I don't know, groove, because when you work on something, you got your own beat. It's like, I don't know, let's see James Brown once again, and you got your own beat, and you don't need to stop. You just